guys, I don't
That's
give a shit
fair.
about the rest of the show.
My bad.
Yeah, listen, and Jesco Games won't give me a preview, so let's just get right into it.
That's because we're brand risks.
That's because we're brand. Yeah, absolutely, bud. All right, so I got the tier list up here.
It is part of the brand now.
I guess I should make room for the chat, huh? If I were smart.
Just put it over top.
Yeah, that's probably true. All right.
You just slam it on top.
Slam chat box. Oh, that's true. I can do that.
I say you can even drag it and put it on a different. Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Hey, that makes sense.
Gamer. Look at this guy.
So yeah, I think that this format looks way different with Kirishima gone, right? Also, coordinated effort gone. There's a lot of what I call punch planet decks that were really, really, really scary because you know if you blocked one thing, they got the hard to jab loop that card, right? And so a lot of times it was like you could like wantonly open with a Texas Smash, and you're like, what are you gonna do? Block it? I have coordinated effort, right?
Yeah.
And so like there was an entire subset of the format that was doing this thing with coordinated effort, right? Like the good symbol was not allowed to do anything else apart from Punch Planet. The Earth symbol was not allowed to do anything else other than Punch Planet. The Void symbol was allowed to do other things because the Void symbol has good things to do apart from Punch Planet, and it also doesn't have Midoriya or All Might symbols, so it doesn't have all the punch support, right?
Right.
So it was allowed to do other things for sure, right?
You're allowed to block now. You're allowed to block your opponent's first attack.
Here's the interesting thing. Personally, the big reason why I like sticky balls and the water symbol was because I could put a card in their card pool and say you actually have to deal with progressive. Like, assuming you didn't find the irresistible force of nature, which is obviously the like hard counter, right? But you can put a card into their card pool. It interrupts, combos like Texas Smash. And also you breaker 2 blocks. So you're like, you still have progressive, and also fuck you. Here's a breaker 2 block. And for other people, that's even more devastating because now they're progressive +2 and the breaker 2 block.
Yes.
I think it's less necessary now. Like, I would consider playing other things now, like, because I don't have to worry about somebody like high roll Yahtzeeing 5 attacks after drawing 4 in a turn and just being like blam. Like, it still exists. If I'm playing into the good symbol, I don't take any momentum because like people like Giggles are just gonna slam capture evildoers like double. So they're gonna capture evildoers and then play 2 attacks and then shove 3 away, and then they'll play the Midoriya punch and draw 3 cards, kick their hand full of foundations, draw 3 attacks, do it again, play another punch.
These
draw 3 cards.
Sure.
Like that deck is scary, dude. I think that you could actually pilot any good symbol character. It would not matter, and just put that package in, and you could Yahtzee somebody, right?
Yeah, that was Kirk Popa's thing, right?
Yeah.
He picked up the True Form All Might deck.
Mm-hmm.
It just says I have like, effectively like 12-ish hand size to put all that stuff together.
Sure.
And 3 damage for free on stuff.
Yeah, and he was filtering with all the characters, right?
Exactly.
And a bunch of 6 checks.
Yeah. It's hard to fail when you got a bunch of 6
spooky.
checks, baby.
Now, it's less degenerate with coordinated effort gun, in my opinion, right? But
for sure.
Still very good as an archetype. Good symbol gets to do that. And so, but like the rest of the format, I think umbo's up quite a bit. So, does anybody have any prefaces you want to get into? Because I know I just waxed poetic about it all over. Kevin, you got anything you want to say? As the one true Kirishima player.
See, I think I'm already washed up again though, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. They banned my deck. I had 1 deck.
Yeah.
And I played other stuff, but it wasn't good. So
you could just join me over in the order field, and we could pretend that order's a good symbol.
Well, I mean,
try really hard.
The interesting thing is, I don't think your package was just reciproc extend, build it down, play reciproc extend, pick up this reciproc extend, right? Like that wasn't the entire package, right? Your kick package works still, right?
Yeah. No, it was a real ass deck. Like it was coherent. It wasn't. I played 4 coordinated effort and mulligan for it really hard every game.
Sure.
Because but it could play the game without it.
Right.
Those cards all have the order symbol too.
Okay.
Sold.
All right. So Tam, as
What
do you think?
Here's my big question before we like super jump into it. What are your criterias when it comes to BDIF, ABCD, and it looks like on stream you left off a tier. I know on my page I have a bonus tier.
Oh, is it E to 2 tier, dude?
It is not. It is probably more of a jab at me of what I'm playing at the
Oh, it's not on the stream.
Hey.
Oh, Midoriya tier, dude. Yeah, I did put that there for you. It's not on stream because I just wanted to poke fun at you since you were doing it.
I think my comment on this is going to be that I would expect that a lot of things get generously ranked, just because it's hard to be like, yeah, this is really shit, or yeah,
Sure.
this is
True.
in between
True.
shit and good.
That's a good question though. Yeah, Tim Keefe has
with four
you
of
go.
us on the cast, in order for us to all just like try and be playing around the same rule set of like what does this tier list actually look like. I think describing it not just for us but for the audience is important.
So a while back when the entire set came out, I did one of these for standard, My Hero only, and then for drafting with Tim Keefe and Jose. And Tim has like a wonderful system. I think it's the only tier list like layering that I would consider, and it's like the best deck, right? Is S tier, right? People put S tier. There are very rarely multiple decks that are like this is like these are the two dueling ones, right? Like the only time I can think of that was like that was like I can't think of it.
There have been standard formats where there are like these are two decks.
Okay,
and these
yeah.
are the ones you should
Right,
be playing.
but
in standard it's harder to do anyway because there's diversity.
Right.
So like I hear this should be pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
it's unusual for there to be two decks that clearly stand out from the whole field.
Right.
Like, you can have one deck that's obviously way better than everything. And I don't think, depending on how you slice it up, like Kirishima wasn't doing that because I don't know which was the best Kirishima, even after beating everyone with the best Kirishima, But I'm not 100% sure. If Void was really like S tier. But if you say like or Void and Good are both S tier at that point. I don't know. But I think a little more common maybe is when you have like I remember there was a while ago there was a 5-deck meta where there were 5 characters who were all it was like K-Dash, Despair, Iori, like way above everyone else, and then like it was literally like those 5 people got it not, and then it was people who got in diversity got immediately eliminated in round 1.
We had like a couple of those in standard in like the 2016 to 2015 to 2018 era because there was also that like Ryu, Napalm Man, Dimitri meta.
Yeah.
Sure.
The one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's rare for that to happen, but that's what I would consider S tier.
It's rare. Yeah.
That's also like a product. Like those metas specifically are a product of diversity.
Right. But typically, like last format had a best deck in the format where you were prepared to play against the one true deck, right?
Sure.
Or you were playing the one true deck, right? So that's what I would consider the best deck in the format. BDIF is right, like S tier, and then A tier.
And there isn't always one of those.
Yeah, there isn't always one. Yeah, like I think there's an argument can be made that there isn't a best deck in the format right now. A tier would be things that are like very easily. Like you can see this in Top Cut, right? You can see it in Final, right? Like this is a deck that you like. Yeah, this is like one of the best characters. It has like no really like glaring weaknesses, but also like no like it's not busted, right? This is just a very solid game plan, right? Like these are characters like I think of in the My Hero format, like it's just always gonna be good, always gonna be consistent, right? Like Kamui is like the consummate A tier character, because that character's not like. I don't think he's broken, but he's just always going to be good because his face does like all of the work for whatever you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just a guy that if there is a package that he can do, he's going to use that, right?
Right.
And then like in standard, right? Spike 1 is like the consummate A tier character, right? Like even when he was doing the Vengeance, of the Fallen Angel, like one shots and stuff like that, it was still like there were better things you could be doing. It's just he's just the most consistent. He has he mitigates his weaknesses very, very well, and I'm waxing poetic about it. But the B tier,
and he was 724, which is pretty good.
That's also pretty good. Yeah, 724 is a pretty good number. Yeah.
Stats do matter sometimes.
Yeah. Well, he is the stats character, right? Like he's the you must be this tall to ride. I'm better at UFS. I'm better at UFS than you, right?
He was born better.
B tier would be things that like I would consider the dark horse decks, right? These are things that like you could see a pilot like really iterating on and making into like a competitive deck. Like they could definitely, you could see them top 8, you could see them get there, but it's not necessarily what you think of when you're like, oh, here's like our best few decks, right? Or like these are our top 5 or something like that. Like good stuff that they do has some clear weaknesses maybe, and clear strengths. I think that the king of B tier to me, Well, we'll get into it.
We'll get into it.
C tier would be things that have like extreme weaknesses, right? They're like hard, like it's like you could definitely pilot this to a top 8 if you're like the best fucking guy in the world. But it would be much harder than just like piloting an A tier deck. And then D tier are just like, don't touch that character. What are you doing?
Dog shit.
Yeah.
The D stands for dog shit.
D for...
This is why we're brand risks. We have a D tier.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Don't worry. We won't make Tam put anything in the D tier.
Like, D tier is like David Martin making top 16 at Nets 2019.
Napalm Man?
Yeah, Napalm Man. Napalm Man 2. All right, like, that's like, holy shit, how'd that get in?
Coming in a whopping 32nd place before diversity.
No, diversity is good for the game, for sure.
Like, you would be...
No offense to David, I was just kidding with the 32nd. I don't know where his actual place was.
So like in short form, it's like best performer is like, yeah, finals. Makes sense. A is like, yeah, top 8. Makes sense, right? You can be thinking of it that way. Or like, and then B tier would be like top 16. Yeah, it makes sense. You could get this weekend, you know? And then C tier is like, what? That topped? And D is like, no, somebody fucked up.
I think this is going to be a weird one to do. This will be my first like tier list without a diversity, and I think I'm just literally going to be like a pretty big stickler for most of these things aren't going to be A or B tier then, because in a non-diversity format, there's no reason to play most of these characters.
Whoa, that's controversial.
Love that.
Not even controversial. It's just true.
Damn. Well, no, because I think that a lot of the characters have some play into each other. There's just like a clear A tier, right? I think there's a very clear A tier. And then like
I'd say like an A. I think like the first 3 tiers are going to be so clear cut.
Yeah.
And then everything else
a lot
just slide into the bottom 2.
So it'll be really interesting for me to like make this video and then go look at what we thought at the beginning of the of the format, right? Because I remember there being a very healthy A and B at the beginning, and I'm sure that it's like some of the stuff is going to go down. But without further ado, I think that we should start off. And first one's Aizawa. And Aizawa is a character that, like, he's, like, the hard check for some of the format, right? Shigaraki, Nomu, Mineta, Ojiro, these are all characters that you have to have a sideboard out for Aizawa, right? And I think...
Probably, yeah.
Personally, like, there's a lot of new players that gravitate towards Aizawa because it's like, I don't have to read your character, right? That's really attractive to a new player. I'm serious. When I teach, like, I've seen new players in locals, and they're like, yeah, I want to play that guy. I don't have to, like, think about your stuff. And that's, like...
Yeah.
It's such a... Like, I don't think of it that way. For me, it's like the spot removal is so choice. And, like, Kevin played Erase in his Kirishima deck, and I was like, fuck yeah, that's... Because I played it in my Void Kirishima for the same reason, because Void doesn't have real spot removal, right?
It stops them from stopping you.
Yeah. I think... I would put this guy in A tier. That's my vote. What do you think, Kevin?
So I think my perception of Eraserhead is he has radically underperformed my expectations.
Sure.
I think he hasn't done almost anything. I guess he's like probably put up some performances once or twice in like game weeklies, but I feel like I see him like losing matches. Well, like I say, Sean plays a lot of Eraserhead and loses a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, take that, Sean. We're shit talking you already.
I feel like he just I don't know if I entirely have a model of why he struggles as much as he does, but it's like you get to play the game for 4 turns, but all you've done is make sure you got to play the game for 4 turns.
Right.
And you get to troll people, but you're still not it's like maybe it's a slanted matchup in your favor. You know, if you're playing against Ochako 2 dot, right, who has 5 hand size, or Nomu, who has all these abilities that just do nothing at all if you get fully blocked.
Sure.
Or if he turns you off, you're just blank for that attack, and he doesn't even have to turn you off all the time, and you just get waxed because you're a 5 hand size playing into this. I don't know if it's just every matchup where he doesn't play into those, he just struggles so badly, or if it's just that it pushes you to play too anemic of a game plan, or he just can't win going first, or he just doesn't have the tools to consistently win. I don't know what it is, but he just seems to underperform. And I can tell a story for why I think he's great, but I don't see that story play out in practice. So I think I must be not understanding something if that's how I think the world should be, and he just doesn't win.
So I'll posit a scenario for you in a Kirishima format that has all 3 symbols have some form of way to like go over the wall that is Aizawa. Good and Void Void especially, tons of throws, right? Like, are ways to like not care about the speed hate. And Aizawa has 0 throw hate apart from villains defeated, I think. So a lot of decks, in order to beat Kirishima as well, because he picks up perfect blocks, adjusted by either making things super fast or just throwing a bunch of damage on throws. Personally, that's what I did, right? I was like, I don't care if you block, here's a gigantic throw, or like, here's like so many attacks that it doesn't matter that you have all this speed hit, right? Your card pool's so full. So I think that without Kirishima, players like you, right, can and will gravitate towards Aizawa because that same control that Kirishima had, you know, with the tape plus ultra blocks, or just like being able to pick up a 1 mid, which is sometimes actually better than plus ultra itself, right?
Yes.
You know, like plus ultra is actually like not super great as your third block, but you know, I think that without Kirishima in the format, he like creeps in because he uses that similar pack. He can use that package you were using really, really effectively. It's less good. He's definitely not as good as Kirishima is, right? And like, I think that like I put a lot of value, of course, on like his control over the format, right? But that doesn't mean that he's good, right? Like his kit is not actually that great. But he uses.
Yeah, I avoid playing most of his cards.
Yeah, like
He is really great.
Yeah. I like his UR. I think that that's a card that's gonna wait for the right combo, right?
Yeah.
Like that card is super scary.
His UR is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a
3-bit.
Yeah, it's a nutty card, but it's like it's not in the right place at the moment, right? Like if there were more weird combos to like pick off of or whatever so he's kind of like a build your own state, and like why spend time doing that when you can just play Kirishima? I think for the competitive players. So yeah, I hear you. I definitely have like played a lot of like beginner Kirishima or Aizawas, and it's like, you know, like he's easy to outplay because they're new players. But like if you put Phil Birch on Aizawa, or Kevin Broberg on Aizawa, or Chris Bromley or Tamren Cardwell, you'd be like, oh shit. You know?
I might fall asleep in the middle of the game if I get put on Aizawa, but
fair enough.
I get what your point is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I and not to interrupt, I think he's like a nice. I feel like he is just a check to the meta at all times. I actually don't think he's ever gonna be the best deck, or like I think I would call him like an A-B, like in between that little spot. Like I don't ever see this guy winning an event because I just don't think he has like the juice to do it. But he is like an excellent check to whatever the best deck is. He's like a really sweet, like I don't want to call him anti-meta, but he feels more anti-meta to me.
Sure. Where
your best deck is always probably going to have some kind of answer, and he's going to always be a really good answer to it.
Right.
I think I like, especially until like more damage comes out on his symbols, I would say B is probably where I'd put him. I think he will have a lot of time, like hard times killing people without like hopefully Recipro burst hitting or something.
4 Gale Force Punch.
Oh, we're getting 4 Gale Force
Punch. Damn.
Yeah.
That'll
dude,
build your own big boy.
That'll kill anybody.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
It's an 8-speed bid. It's hot.
That's true.
That's get like, hey man, if you draw your 4 Gale Force punches, I'm fucking dead. You got my ass, man.
Yeah. That's how Ochako 2 gets you. So I believe, you know, he has 7 hand size. He's got 9 hand size when he just decides to draw his extra 2, right? So Tam, what do you think?
I'm actually like so in Phil's pocket right now. I think he's actually like the world's best B, because I think whenever he beats your deck, you feel so unbelievably defeated. Like you said, like Ochako 2. And I've been theory crafting this guy versus Midoriya 1, and like he just like does not give a shit about the move that I want to pump 10 damage on, right? He's like, man, I guess I'm not gonna block that. What character?
He just sits on your face. It's brutal.
If you have a way to deal with him, right? Like if you can beat him, he's just a 6 hand size 19 health character because he constantly has to have an erase in his hand,
right?
Like always. And nobody in this panel would play a 6/19. No matter if they got to draw 2 cards once per cycle.
Right.
Nah. Like nobody would do that. But like if erase is good enough in that matchup, he'll mollywop you. So like I think it's just that dynamic of like he's so good versus some decks and so bad versus others that easy top 16. I don't see him in finals unless somebody ran the perfect bracket and played their ass off.
And I do want to add just like a quick inner thing here. If we're talking about a diversity format and this is standard, I would put him in A tier with these given list of characters, just because I think that he is good enough if not everybody can play the same deck. Like I'm gonna have like skewed more B, I think, than A's, just because of how diversity is gonna play. Like the lack of plays into a lot of like the decision making of playing decks in the My Hero Academia like card game format, right?
I'm down,
So
dude.
he's yeah. And honestly, like I think everybody's correct. I don't even think saying A is incorrect, but I would put him like closer to the bottom of A.
Sure.
Because I think he is very good, and
He's
I think
definitely
like
good.
I think a really good player playing Aizawa is going to shit on so many people. Like they're gonna just absolutely have no fun. They're not gonna get to play. They're gonna play Bromley's least favorite brand of UFS when only one player gets to play the game. There's gonna be no interaction, and they're just gonna lose.
Yeah, and then they'll play
and
one
yeah.
Jiro, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And then
I
you-
was gonna say Jiro.
Yeah, you play one
Because
Jiro.
Jiro is a bad time for Aizawa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and then you
never
play into a
allowed- yeah,
character that you
he's
can't do
there.
anything in. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I think that I agree with you guys. I think he is like somewhere like I would definitely I think he's an A tier, but like you guys, I'm with you on him being like king of B tier. Like he
absolutely.
he's a hard check for a lot of the
Yeah,
characters that are
like
going to
if
stay
this
in
were,
B and C.
you know, we're trying to like predict tournament results, so I
Mhm.
think he's B tier. But if we say like, well, how important, like in terms of what you have to study, what you have to be refreshed on, what you have to be prepared for in a tournament.
Yeah.
He is like the top of A tier for decks that you have to know how
You have
they
to know
exist
how
and
to
what
play
they do.
against it and play around it with the cards you are putting into your
Right,
deck.
right. He's something to consider, but like most of the top players are considering him as a matchup, but not considering him as their own like deck,
Yeah.
which is
That's
an
how I
interesting
would say
thing.
it.
Yeah. Okay. All Might. This is 3.
I don't know which one that is.
So this is the Gen Con All Might, and
I love that guy.
Yeah, 6:30, draw 2 cards. There was one turn I played into Sam Tate where I opened with a Heat Wave, drew 2 cards, Self Assured drew 4 cards, and I said, well, I have to kill you right now because I have 11 cards in my hand. So here I go, you know, and I did kill him, but like I would have ended my turn with actually 7 in my hand. He would have been like sick, 7 speed, 7 speed, 7 speed, 7 speed, or well, more realistically, 7 speed, 6 speed, 5 speed, 4 speed. Okay, now you can block one.
Right. Yeah. Now you're allowed to block.
Yeah, but this is one of those guys that uses that punch package, right? So he's got air all good, which means he has good.
Yeah. He just has the good symbol.
I think I think he's fine on air. I
So
think he's underexplored on
he
air.
uses fury stuff on air, right?
Yes.
But,
Okay, he can pump 2 different things, right?
right,
He
yeah,
can't- he is
he's
allowed
fury,
to punch fury
or punch, right?
Fury
He's the
and
guy.
punch, right?
He's the guy who
Okay.
came out with the Midoriya and Bakugo decks, so he can use either one of their cards.
Got it.
It's cool, right? So I just think that like punch is super explored, right? On the good symbol, and on air, like you have the Bakugo Fury stuff, but aside from that, you're kind of like up that creek, and like there's great air cards. Air and all are good symbols, you know, but like
Sure.
for him, you've got on all like a weird limbo where
It's
it's
like
like
just his stuff, right?
yeah, it's his stuff,
Mostly.
and then the weapon
the
stuff.
all symbol, yeah, the all symbol is almost it's one character offering a strict subset of good.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
should just always play good. You'd rather have the Midoriya starter plus whoever the last good character Kirishima
Yeah.
than you would have exactly Aizawa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Aizawa's
Yeah.
package is not great, right? Like Night Watch is nuts, but that's like the
if you,
best
if you
card.
if you really need Night Watch plus Erase, maybe that can solve something for you. But
Yeah.
that's a narrow case.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Like air is definitely unexplored for him, but that's because like the air characters apart from him, like Jiro and Ochako, are like so good, or like even Denki. But yeah, I think that he's one of like the premier good symbol like decks. Without coordinated effort, though, do you think this guy is still as threatening?
I
guess.
don't know if he was threatening at all, honestly, to begin with, but I do like him.
Yeah.
I think he's good.
I don't want to get kicked off the podcast. I think he's in running for best deck in the format, actually. I think 8 hand size, 30 health character. I think he did lose coordinated effort, but that like forced him to play like these big crazy aggro turns of people like playing like big bonobos. Man, I lost a provisional round as Ochako because my opponent literally drew 14 cards, built 8 cards, held 6 cards, and stared at me. And I went, well, okay, dude, I guess I'm not getting through your 14 foundation wall and 6 cards and you being at 29 health. All right, man. I think his hardest matchup was Kirishima because they got to build their hand into their stage and then pick them back up. So his damage pump or his speed pump and damage pump weren't relevant, right?
Sure.
And that guy's gone. And so like this guy, if you sit with 3 cards in your hand against All Might, he's going to just run you over with +3 speed on all of his moves that like start at 5 damage minimum. And then whenever you mess up, he then switches it because it's a throw, and he's going to draw even more cards. Like I think that you can play like a control version of this deck and feel fine about it because of how the good symbol works and how he works with the All Might 1 stack a card and his face says draw a card, right? So you can just sit there and just recycle the throw over and over and over again. I think that this guy easily could be the best deck in the format as long as he can deal with the hyper aggression that like a Jiro can find on turn 2 or whatever. Right?
So your claim for this guy is not necessarily that you like him as like a control, like you're just a character that can draw 2 extra cards every turn, basically. Like a 100%. thick boy with solid options later into a string or later into a game if you need them, but you're always gonna have +2 cards. You're always gonna have more defense.
You will also be down 2 foundations, right?
Well, you're gonna be down your face.
You're gonna be down your face in a foundation. It's 2 foundations, right? You're down 2 foundations. All you do is put stats on things and draw 2 cards, right? And like, and draw cards. Listen, that's all that Yoshimitsu did. Okay, that's all that Yoshimitsu did was put stats on cards, draw 2 cards, and get +2 to his check. So, like, I hear you, but the thing is that like I think that there's enough speed hate, and it's like relevant speed hate. You know, Specialist of Sound. Rescue
arrogant
disposition is huge for that against that deck. Like that says your first enhance was, and I'll block with that one. Now you get 2 speed. I can block a 2 speed, like +2 speed attack, and then the 1 speed or whatever. And then there's enough also like extra draw to the point where I don't think that like playing Kamui into every All Might 3 that I played into event, like I played against Sam Tate, and like the only reason I didn't win a second game is because I didn't play around a +ultra. Like I like Yahtzee to turn that he was clearly holding a +ultra, and I didn't think about it, right?
And then he slow played.
And then he slow played me in the 3rd round. But like I've never had a problem with that character, and that might just be because of the way that I play the game. So I hear you, but like personally, I don't rate him well because I wouldn't play that character. I think that he doesn't have the it's just raw value, and just raw value doesn't attract me because it's not like, it doesn't feel like the combo type stuff that I like to do. So
he's also a string character, right? And you said you played Kamui, who blasted every string character that's ever existed in
100%, yeah.
And so I think it might just be he has a bad matchup, but like when you look at him versus the rest of the field, like I think that he easily could take down pretty much everybody else.
Yeah, if you're in a slugging match, All Might 3 is incredible. If your opponent actually wants to like swing and bang with you, he's just phenomenal.
Sure.
He gets to up cards, he gets to force them into awkward positions with what they're doing, he gets to just make them uncomfortable all the time, and he gets to just always have more resources to fight with. But he is weak in deadlock. His symbols don't have good deadlock.
Right.
Yeah. And I think he's really weak to Kamui Woods in particular. I actually played into Tim Keefe playing an All Might deck, and he literally quit because I Kamui'd him that bad.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I think the biggest thing that the character does is like when you're at 10 foundations and you drop and you don't get attacks against him, you're like in an awkward situation where like if they had deadlock, it would be very scary. But like you just said, he doesn't really have great deadlock options, right? And I think that's the big thing. That's why I would put him in B. But Tam's like super in on A tier. I'm down with A tier. If everybody thinks it's A tier, I'm down with it.
Oh, dude, I would put this guy so deeply into C tier that it's not even fucking funny.
Damn.
Hey, no offense, Tam. I understand you've been playing Midoriya for like the past week, and you really want a real character on your symbols. I get it,
really
man.
it. That's it.
No, I would lean probably B on this guy. Honestly,
I definitely.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised to see this guy make a top cut, but I also think that his top cut is going to be because he didn't play against the best decks in the format, and he squeaked in through good pairings.
I think he's A tier in my book. I think that most of the people who play in tournaments want to play the kinds of games that All Might is good at playing.
Sure.
And I think it's relatively few people who he has to dodge or just lose 2 in rounds and hope they get knocked out by someone else in top cuts.
I can definitely respect that.
I'm slamming him to A because
I did have one more comment just because we were having a very specific conversation about it 2 seconds ago. For you people who are all like new or like not making top cuts and such, just because you almost have 10 foundations doesn't mean you can't play more. And I think a lot of you really don't understand that there are not good deadlock options on most symbols. So just fucking play through it because a lot of them don't matter.
They're like
by the time you get to that point, you know which ones your opponent's playing, basically.
Yeah. There are like 2 symbols that I would consider not going to deadlock against, and it's like Void because of the tape toss.
Yeah.
Tape toss is brutal, especially for playing like around wall clang as your like main defensive piece.
It's the debuild 2s, really.
Debuild 2s are really brutal, but there's a point where that also doesn't matter. And then the other one is the Asui 2 foundation.
Yeah, first villain encounter is fucked.
That is also a debuild
That's
2.
a good one.
Yeah, that's also a
and also,
debuld 2.
specifically in Sue, or someone else who can trigger it reliably, Observant Student's pretty messed up. That just says E-commit, draw, and attack.
Yeah. But so the thing again with that card is that like most people who have it just like Yahtzee play it early, right? Yeah. So like they're just like, I want to see the top, because these are aggro decks that are typically playing on the air symbol, and like, or it's a water deck, and if it's Asui, she probably flipped it, right? So like the situations where it's up, I'm like, are like so few and far between for me personally. But maybe like if I'm playing into Kevin Broberg, he holds that shit all game against me.
Your opponents are good.
Yeah. Sorry. If I play into Kevin Broberg, he holds 2 of that the entire game, absolutely, because he knows I'm going to deadlock.
All Might is C tier because he can't be a good player, but Observant Student sucks. No one's a good player.
No. I'm just saying specifically on like on the symbols it has. Like if Observant Student was easier to proc, right? If it wasn't just Asui or Ochako who could like make it happen, like I would be prepared. But like against Asui and against Ochako, 100%. I would have to consider that, especially if I looked at the discard pile and saw like a bunch of tongue whips or something like that.
Sure.
But yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, I'm comfortable putting that dude in A tier because like Sam Tate can 100% just pilot that same deck he had minus coordinated effort and slam top cut 100%. This is
like I said, I could be very wrong, so I'm okay with the A tier.
5 hand size All Might. The funnest one. Who gets,
this is the draw. This is the Big Mac one, right?
Yeah, minus 1 hand size. Minus 1 hand size later. 3 hand size now.
This is the most American one, right?
The most American one.
This guy's all about instant gratification.
Massive size All Might. Yeah, which is my favorite thing in Standard right now.
Has anybody ever played this fucking character?
I have.
I have used his abilities after engaging him with Here We Go. That was sweet.
I'm sure it was.
He is statistically the second least shown character at events, right behind Ida 2. I think he's had like 2 people play him at any event that's had more than 40 people in it.
So actually, is he? Yep. He's not even that. Like he's not that bad though, right?
Plus Ultra exists, man.
Yeah,
Plus Ultra exists, and you only get to play Detroit Smash.
Yeah, Detroit Smash is like his game plan, and it loses really hard to Plus Ultra.
Oh, yes. That's not good.
If he gets to rezone that card at some point, maybe he can
We can
there.
talk.
Yeah, or like if he gets a different duck.
Like, if he gets to actually put speed on Hardened Pummel, that could be real.
I'm actually wish any of these fucking guys had the order symbol because they would be the best character in order.
Well, you know what? That's actually a build, and we can talk about that later. But I think that Hardened Pummel in that character is like a real thing because you get the Detroit Smash slam in some momentum, and then like play 2 pummels and like give them powerful and shit. Like you could probably do that. I'm down for that. But yeah,
I think.
You think? What was that?
The debate here is he C tier or is he D tier?
I'm pretty sure he's D tier.
You think he's D tier?
You guys just told me he loses to the best card in the format for blocking.
Yeah. I think he's so cool. I would never consider this guy for Provisionals.
Now.
Yeah, he's super fun. He's.
You can give your Hardened Frenzy powerful X.
No one wants to block that card.
Hell yeah, man.
That's true.
That's sweet.
No one wants to block.
I can't wait to build.
Because you don't have card on your stage.
I can't wait to build my 40 damage frenzy into my stage. It's gonna be hype as hell.
All right, All Might 2 from the DLCs. This is like the world's best Heatwave deck according to Shane Duckworth, I think.
I don't know what this guy even does.
I
know what his cards do.
He like mills a bunch and like draws some.
I've played against this.
Yeah.
This is mill and your attack gets stats or your next attack gets stats or some shit, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you get 2 damage on everything for free for the price of flipping your deck over.
Yeah.
And then if they block, your next move gets 2. So your next move is gonna have 4 on it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get momentum, you get to spend them to draw cards and get if it's not blocked, you'll draw another card, which you can use on your opponent's attacks.
Yeah.
Jacob Johnson was 16th with this guy at the provisional, and there's a surprising amount of sauce that this guy gets to do both offensively and defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy says, if I have a momentum, I can choose on my opponent's turn to discard the momentum, draw a card, tank this move, draw a card, and now my In the Typhoon is live for the cost of 1 momentum.
Oh.
And so there's some crazy niche lines that you can find with this guy, and I think you're gonna have some mad scientist who cracks the ratios that we could put him in A. But until those ratios get cracked, he's like a B, C.
Yeah, that sounds like the definition of like B and C tier to me though. It's like somebody like Jacob Johnson could workshop this deck and like definitely play it to top 16. But like I think that's exactly what I was talking about when I said like this is the B tier. This is the C tier.
I do like the idea of us. I mean, we put other All Might in A because his stats are more consistent and like his draw is more consistent. I could see a world where this guy's B tier, living on that same almost line.
Yeah,
a thinner line might do, but like he has maybe more ability to draw more, ability to pump more.
Yeah, he has a higher cap on his like draw and less of a and he can't pump speed, right? Like that's the benefit of All Might 3 is that he pumps speed. Actually, right? Like you don't put damage until your opponent's hand is empty, essentially. But and then you can't put any stats on anything.
It's not a pure flow chart.
But like honestly, this guy wants to be blocked for the most part anyway. Like early game when you're just like playing, you want your last move to be the move that hits them for a lot. So,
I
doesn't mind being blocked at least.
I think he's hard to play, and I think that there are easier options to go to, and I would put him in C tier. That's my vote.
I think he's B tier, and but I think that it's tricky because so much comes down to when your opponent is blocking and how they're blocking.
Sure.
It's easy to make mistakes against this guy and to tank things when you're not supposed to tank them, and then he gets away with he gets away with momentum and you've lost vitality for free,
right.
Or to block too much, or to block the first move and then like you realize, oh crap, if I keep blocking, I'll run out and he'll be able to go fish me at the end of the string. So you start catching a bunch of unnecessarily big attacks. So he's complicated, he's skill testing, but I'm concerned very much about your opponent just blocking every single thing you do, and then you just don't get anywhere.
Yeah,
I played against this guy one time with Togiyami in the only tournament I've ever played in, and one of my only 3 games of my hero format that I've ever played. And I was never going to lose that game. It's just every punch is a mid move. And I just held him off momentum the entire game.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that deck just walks right into capture evildoers or whatever that action's called.
Yep.
So like,
this character's very momentum hungry for sure. So if you can keep him off it, then he's only half a character, and mill 4 for +2 maybe +4 is like not gonna get you there.
Yeah, that's not,
right.
That's not it.
All right,
I'm good with
C. I'm into C.
All right, All Might True Form number 4.
This is the meme one?
This is the meme one.
Dude, they banned 25% of this man's foundations.
Yep. I can't respect this guy at all.
Yeah.
I think this guy sucks now. I've only ever respected him when coordinated effort was on the field, and Jasko said I never have to respect this man ever again.
So I played against him, and I certainly was never going to lose the game, but I was surprised how tanky he was. Because of the 0 mid blocks, and because of the filtering, and because he starts at 30 health. I was like, I'll just like take a turn off and then snipe him from 19. And that took 3 turns. You know? Like,
you were like, I didn't attack until he was at 19 and I killed him.
And then I killed him. That is what I did, but like I had like my head was like, yeah, I poke him once and then I wait till he's down. And like poking him once wasn't effective because he was just like, here's my 0 mid block, dude. I took 3. You know, like I was sideboarding in every game that day. Every single match at the Provisional, I sideboarded in whatever character was in my sideboard because I was like, 0 mid blocks are broken. Actually. Seriously, dude, because so many decks were playing with like big speed mid attacks, and also I was playing tape. It was just like a 5th copy of Plus Ultra for me, essentially, and like I totally blocked with it. Not as I also checked it sometimes, but like it would like there's extreme value in a 0 mid block in a format that has 1.
Sure.
You know, it's like attacks are tuned like they're literally like you can look at the set. They are tuned around you tapping 1 to 2 foundations, or sorry, 1 to 3 foundations every time. Right, that is what they're tuned around. It's whether you're tapping Specialist of Sound or Edith's Thing, or you're just raw checking it. Right, you are like you can see it. I mean, I think it's really cool actually. I think that they did a pretty good job with it. Like you're tapping on most blocks unless you're like using speed hate, like tape or something like that. Right. And this character gets to not do that. He gets to actually get into his third move, onto your third move, and be like, I'm still blocking on 0 mids. But yeah, my talk's over. I do think he's C tier.
Yeah, I mean C or D, right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't fucking do anything except be a meme.
I mean,
now,
big
until,
damage.
like, maybe
He slams
set.
damage. The punch archetype is a thing, right? Like the
Sure.
that we were talking about, and he has a 7-hander that gets to filter even more cards with a gigantic health total that says that even Nomu isn't killing me in 1 turn. You know, like that's value. He can't kill himself, so that means if he plays picture perfect defense on his last tail end, he could stay at 1 health. You know, regardless of how long the game goes. So like I would put him in C, and like I could see him topping, right? I would be surprised. I'd be like, oh, Kirk Polka back at it again or something like that. But
back at it again, bud.
But yeah, for the same reasons that the other All Might, the DLC All Might, is in C tier, I put him in C tier. What do you think, Tim? What's your vote?
I'm he's so far in the D now because he just lost effort.
Yeah, I'll give him the D.
I think that his offense is so suspect now. He's got some small consistency issues with like having his hand flooded with characters and attacks, and the fact that once per turn one of his attacks doesn't build down as a foundation. Like you have to go completely to the drawing board. And so maybe if we get more All Mights, right? Next set comes out and there's 4 more All Mights. This guy just gets to like run rampant. But like if in the next 7 days you were like, I would rather play Midoriya 1 than play True Form All Might.
Yeah.
No, that's just you, bud. That's just you.
Actually. Hey, and you know, it's okay to be 25% wrong. That's fine.
I believe in him for C tier. I think the ceiling is high enough on what he's doing. Like
We gotta reserve that D tier for the bad ones, you know.
Yeah. He's got enough going on. You know, he can always like counter your life total if he checks good.
So
like,
Phil,
he's always in reach, and he's good at fighting. So
I'm gonna put him at the bottom of C because we're actually 50-50 here. So he's gonna be permanently bottom of C tier, top of D tier, something like that.
Yeah, I'm in on that.
All right, Aoyama.
Hey, what a compromise.
Yep, gotta go read what that guy does real quick.
Yeah.
So we had a build that I had for my friend Jason, and I think this character is sort of like that All Might DLC thing, where like he's super unexplored, and he can randomly blitzkrieg somebody, but the problem is that his is like defensively he's kind of suspect.
He doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah, he doesn't do anything on defense apart from just like being on 3 very good defensive symbols, right? Like Earth is a great defensive symbol, Life is a great defensive symbol, and Death is great.
And then there's Death.
Yeah, Death has great defense. It just can't kill anybody. But Death does not die pretty well. The problem is that if you decide to like the people who are playing him are like Aoyama in my local, and they just slam their entire foundation base into like flips, so they don't have any defense. But like when we were testing it, it was like he was just like putting 2 damage on throws and then passing it over to you, you know, and then like if you ever overcommitted, he was like, here's a string and it's 36 damage, you know, like if you overcommitted, he backswings like a motherfucker. So like I think that the value in putting damage on throws is pretty good, but there are definitely better options. So like I think he's a C tier character. I don't think he's D tier, which is what I think you guys are definitely gonna say on just like looking at him. But like there's value in like being able to like nuke somebody, because he can nuke somebody. He can really nuke somebody if he finds the tight lips and stuff like that onto. And he has a good slow churn package as well if you decide to go life with throws. There you go. There's my sell. Here's my sell.
I think if Ayama topped, everybody would clap and be like, "Good for him, man. I'm glad he got there." You know?
Yeah.
he's so crazy good at killing, at just blocking enough and back swinging 7-handers.
Right.
And so like, as if Shigaraki couldn't kill 7-handers, I would play Ayama. But Shigaraki could definitely kill 7-handers.
Sure.
If Froppy 1 couldn't kill 7-handers, I would totally sideboard this character. But Froppy can definitely kill 7-handers. So I think like this guy's place in the meta is, hey, I could do that same thing you do, but then I just like lose to 5-handers for like free because I can't quite get over the 5-hander problem that Ayama
I remember
has.
reports of people playing Ayama decks and saying, I got rid of Nomu and I was completely
Yeah.
hopeless.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do?
I think Nomu is the most dog shit character, and this guy cannot beat Nomu in any galaxy. This guy can't even pretend he wants to beat Nomu.
I can beat Nomu with that character. Just saying.
Well, the people who play Nomu
Yeah,
can't
you play
beat
a life
anybody.
deck.
So I would put him in D. I think this guy sucks.
All right.
This guy doesn't do anything that any other character does like better, or he's just strictly worse.
Okay.
Like, in my opinion.
Kevin, what do you think?
I want to give him C tier because I don't hate him. I don't think he's actively detrimental to your chances to win. But I don't see how. I
feel like he's D tier for the
Yeah.
same reason fucking this
Yeah.
All Might is D tier though, right?
Okay.
Like, we're
Yeah.
not-
Okay. So like let's reevaluate. Right. He's not the best deck in the format. He is not like an easy top 8. He's not an easy top 16. Is he like somebody workshop this and got top 16, or is he just like, why would anybody do that?
I mean, with that,
Tam is for sure like, no, why would anybody ever do that? Because you literally
I'm
said that.
for sure.
Yeah. Like you
Yeah.
literally said,
With
why
that
would you do that?
parameter,
You have
for
Shigaraki,
sure.
you have Asui,
Yeah.
right? So like that's
I wanted to put him in my heart of hearts. I was like, he's a C tier, but
Right.
you
Yeah.
reaffirmed our tier list. This
Right.
is a D, man. Hey,
All right.
shake my hand, Phil.
Yeah, I'm taking
What do you
it.
think, Kevin? Because I think that if somebody wanted to, because I have done it, right? I workshopped the deck for a bit with my friend. I think that could be piloted to a top 16. What do you think, Kevin? Oh, bottom of C, my boy.
Wow.
I'll put him in D
What a
though.
sellout.
Yeah, this is the second time. We're putting him in D, but I'm putting him in front of the other All Might, that fucker.
That's fine, dude. If you want him to be if you want him to be the best D tier, I can agree with that, buddy.
I will put him in D because I do agree. It would take. It would,
I can agree with
there are
him
better
being at
options,
the
yeah.
top of the bottom, dude.
All right, so Asui 1.
I gotta read this one also.
This
Wait,
is
this is Asui 2.
good
This is
one.
Asui 2.
Oh.
Asui 2. This is
Yeah, I
DLC
gotta read
Asui.
this.
Yeah. So like, full signal, but stream keeps struggling for Tim Freedley. Somebody answer this boy. Chat.
My stream is completely fine. I'm watching it. I have it up right next to me. Nothing's lagging.
Okay.
Also,
So Asui 2 is like if she kicks a card from your card pool and then gives it attack 4 damage, I think.
Yes. And then she says if you don't block her next move gets 2 speed.
Yeah.
Is there a
Two
world
speed
in
is
which
not a lot.
this 6 hand size character is just allowed to kill you? Can I just like not block a single fucking thing?
She
and
has the
just
water
live?
symbol and she gets to put 4 damage onto like tape swing and tape toss. But
Not if I don't fucking. I guess if you like tape, you gotta like have the hung whip
Yeah.
and all that shit. But it's
Yeah.
like less good in a 6 hand size character, right?
yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Scary.
I don't know if
Character
anybody has
won
any
a web
comments.
campaign, But she seems real bad.
yeah, I think she's bad.
Like maybe if you have 8 throws on water, or maybe if you're, I can't even like construct a scenario where she like
Right.
beats someone to death with their own shoes.
They would need to be like
I guess it's nice
throws.
that you can say she beats you to death with your own shoes because she picks up your shoe and hits you with it for 4 damage. That's kind of cool.
That is kind of
Yeah.
cool. I think it would have to be eight throws that also put a card in the card pool for their effect, right? Because they would need to self-feed their stuff because the first one wouldn't get any damage, right? So that's the biggest problem with it. I do think that this is like unfortunate. Like this is a character no one I think is going to consider for the provisional.
Prove me wrong and like post a YouTube video that explains how your deck exists and why it is better than any other character. Why it is better than Aoyama.
Right.
This just looks like every single character that I'm looking at on the fucking order symbol. Like it's just a 6 hand size character that doesn't have a draw, that is very niche with their abilities, like fits one particular thing they want to do, and then is not gonna do it at all. Like
Right.
it.
So here's the thing. I think that every one of the characters in this D tier are like pretty good actually. Personally, I would play them in a local. I would bring them to like the webcam
You can have
weekly.
fun with them, yeah.
I could go 3-0 with that Asui. 100% I could do it, right? If I just like paired into random shit all day and I was playing that's the D tier does not mean actually dog shit. Like I know we joked about it earlier, right? But
That's
it's
what
like
the D stands
this
for.
is like the format for provisional, right?
Provisionals format.
You should not
We're not
consider.
gonna see this
you should
shit.
not if you're trying to win. You should not be considering Asui 2. That's all I'm saying here.
Unless
right?
you're like really just one of those edgelords that's trying to prove a point, then go for it, man. You got it.
You're not going to though.
You're
with
not
that
gonna
character.
win.
Not with that.
You're gonna get
If you-
fucking 125th.
If you are gonna prove a point, play evil with Gale Force Punch, and then actually
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
then
Because
actually
that
do
move's
that-
very ranged.
Yeah.
Point proven.
Yeah.
I
That move-
brought up Gale Force Punch earlier, and I forgot that Plus Ultra exists now because I built my Gale Force deck before Plus Ultra.
Oh. Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
we don't.
You can put 5 damage on a thing and then plus ultra. That sounds
You
pretty hype.
said she's not better than Mineta. She's slightly worse.
Slightly better.
She is much worse than Mineta because
Yeah.
Mineta actually has a
That's
reason.
fair. Mineta can
to
actually
exist.
try to play the game. Unfortunately, it's just not good.
Look, Asui 2 exists to give us tongue whip.
Yeah, she did a great job.
She
God
did
bless
a
you,
great
Queen.
job handing
Slay.
us tongue whip
And-
on a silver platter.
And
Slay,
first villain
Queen.
encounters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Slay
She
Queen.
gave us
Great
2
card.
incredible
Keep your
pieces.
tongue.
Yeah. Those are 2 nutty cards.
Yeah, good for her. Good
Speaking
for
of
her.
tongues, here's Asui 1.
I hate
This
this
character's
bitch.
good.
This
Yeah, I
character's
hate
very
this.
good.
I hate this fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Our new overlord.
Yeah. She's super scary, man.
I don't want to put her at best deck, but she's probably A.
Yeah, I think she's A.
She actually, if you play her like not an asshole, she's probably the best deck in the format. But I think most people are just gonna play her like an asshole,
Yeah, that is a
and I'm okay with that.
That is similar, like Aizawa energy to me, and she does have trouble with that deck, by the way. She has a lot of trouble with Aizawa.
Sure.
But
Yeah, it sounds rough.
yeah, it's a little funky. But her package is so like I've looked at like all the water characters, of course, because I like the water symbol in this format specifically for Kirishima, right? But she had problems sideboarding into Todoroki, and she had problems sideboarding into Kamui because her package is like very much hers. Amphibious is like very much hers. You an observant student, right? Like the way that she plays with a lot of spam because she's just gonna be flipping them all over and stuff like that. Whereas like the decks I wanted to play were like a little bit more like control oriented. But one thing she does do is like she can just Yahtzee you on 2. And
You
she
die.
also she also like gets the benefit of like playing all the good cards on the water symbol, right? So like you said, if somebody's not like just like straight animal pantsing the entire day, I think that she could very easily top. And I think she could very easily like top 8. Do I think I'll see her in the final? Maybe. I'm not sure though, because I do think that she runs the risk of getting like actually blocked out. And she has a very big problem where she plays a lot of 5 diffs, and is leapfrogging, like doing this thing, right? And if she just goes check 3, draw gray, check 3, draw gray, she doesn't kill you. And then she's left with a bunch of face down foundations that don't do anything for the backswing. So I think that she has the unlucky energy where at some point in the event she's gonna not get lucky on her tongue smacks and will not draw enough orange to like finish the deal, seal the deal. So
I mean, I think that kind of falls into someone who's not playing her like an asshole, right?
Right.
Like, because if you're playing like an asshole, you'll just lose because you get unlucky.
right.
Sure.
But if you're not, if I draw a sticky balls off of Tongue Whip, I'm like,
Oh, sick.
okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
if they take this one, I'll just take that momentum and be pretty happy about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with
Right.
just building sticky
Sure.
balls after this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I contextualize with that. I guess like I'd vote A tier.
That's where I'm
I
at.
think she's A tier. Yeah. I'm not super worried about her in a no, honestly. I think
I
she is
want to
playing-
bring this up. I swear to God, Kevin, I've been seeing this in the fucking chat the whole night. We're never going to balance around or put this tier list around Nomu, guys. Nomu sucks. Can we skip right to Nomu? Can I just put
All right, let's
Nomu
go
in
to
C
Nomu.
tier for these kids?
Here's Nomu.
Like,
I think Nomu, when I talked about earlier, the king of B tier,
I think he's so fucking bad.
I
this
agree
is
with
like
you.
the
However,
pinnacle of he doesn't have coordinated anymore either.
yeah,
This guy's so bad. Stop balancing your playing around Nomu. Just block.
I think that there's going to be one Nomu in every top cut. Kind of like there was one reptile in every top cut, right? And there technically was one Nomu in this top cut before Osai Tyson got robbed by the pairings.
damn.
Was he though?
He wasn't robbed.
Oh,
No.
He is. I think he is so fucking bad, guys.
I-
I cannot imagine myself ever losing to this character.
So the only times I've ever lost to
Nomu twice.
Yeah, so sometimes Nomu just draws 5 orange and you die. Sometimes Nomu just draws 2 relentless and head 2 in his yard and you die. But most of the time he's like an actual 5-hander. And the actual 5-hander, if you hold four blocks in your hand, is never killing you because he's just like raw chucking them, right? He's raw chucking them.
And see, like, if you hold 4 blocks in your hand and they're all the right zones, you
Correct.
take 0 damage.
Correct.
But if if one of them is a half block, you take like a third of your life.
5.
Yeah. You take 5 or 6 for sure.
And then if you then miss your backswing because he has such a fat ass.
Yeah.
And
You just poke him like 1 every time. Like, you just poke him for 6 every turn.
Well, so
I mean, he can't block.
He can
that's
try.
the thing. Is
But
like
He's not gonna.
he-
If he's blocking with his attacks, I think we're winning the game, Kevin.
Well,
And
he
that dude
holds
is
one card. He holds,
sculpting.
like 1 foundation.
Yeah, he also if he chooses the right zone in his foundation, he
Is
does
he
get the block.
building 1 per turn?
Most of the time, yeah. Most of the
How
numbers
are
I
we
see,
losing to this Nomu?
yeah, they're usually going attack, build 1 foundation, hold 2, right? Or maybe they build 2 foundations, hold 1, right? That's typically what I see with Nomu, and that's the statistics of what you get. Like if I built Nomu, it would be a 25-25 deck that plays 25 attacks and 25 foundations, and on turn 1, I hard mulligan for at least 2 foundations, and I hope, And every other turn, I'm like,
Right.
here's two attacks and here's 2 foundations. If I beat the odds, here's 3 attacks and 2 foundations. Like,
I mean, I'll say I played Kamui a bunch, and I have not beaten Nomu once with that deck.
damn.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, that's
impressed,
tough.
honestly.
That's tough, actually. I do sideboard into Todoroki when I'm playing Kamui because Kamui is not great into that. You're like your thing.
All
I
the cards
actually
don't do anything.
yeah, I don't actually enhance with the character. I use him to block to like pass checks
Yeah,
to block.
tap him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah, I tap him to block. So yeah, I
And,
hear
like,
you there.
Your offense is dog shit. So, and I think that's the other thing too is that like Nomu gets to, in the same way that Aizawa gets just pissing people's cornflakes.
Yeah.
Like if I'm trying to like all in on Reciprocal Burst, my deck sucks ass. against
Oh sure, yeah. I have an
Right.
order Denki that cannot beat Nomu because
Yeah.
You
I was
guys gotta hope your 5% full cowling hits.
yeah.
You can't block them
Yeah.
both, guys.
Yeah, you got to
can't
side
block
into
them
your
both.
but I lose game 1 is what I'm saying. You know.
That's true. Oh yeah. We
Yeah.
lost game 1.
So like that's what I'm saying for like the same reasons that Aizawa is like in the B tier where he's just like a deck you have to consider.
Right.
You have to consider
Yeah,
beating
yeah.
Aizawa. You have to
No,
consider
but I
beating
think Aizawa
Nomu.
could be I think Aizawa could make a top 8, and that was your criteria. I don't
That's
think
fair.
Nomu's making a top
That's
8.
fair. You
I
don't
think
think he's making
Nomu
top
could be
8?
in top 16.
All right, that's fair.
I mean,
fair.
that's in my opinion. I mean, I some people like. I think this is the worst character I've ever. Like he's
Huh.
big damage.
I'm down. I'm down because I don't think he makes the top 8. I'm down for slamming him in C for those reasons.
I think whatever we decide is the best deck in format, I think
Yeah.
probably washes the fuck out of Nomu.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's gonna be 7 or 8 of whatever best deck in format happens, and it probably just washes Nomu.
I bet the next like provisional. Actually, yeah, there's provisional in like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
I bet that the top penetration of that top cut is like less than 6 out of 16. It's certainly not going to be 8.
Well,
of the
it's not
top
gonna be
deck like it
9 or
was
8 or
with
9
Kirishima.
probably, but I think it's
Right.
gonna be pretty. I think people are gonna start being like, "Hey, this is the best deck now," and then they're gonna play it.
Well, okay. So do you want to? What do you think the best deck in the format is right now, Phil?
I don't play enough. What do you
Oh, okay.
fucking mean?
All
It's
right.
not Midoriya.
All right.
I
Well,
can tell you
Tamren-
it's not Midoriya
Tamren
after
said-
watching Tamren lose 27 games in a row yesterday.
Well,
Like,
so
I know
Tam-
it's not Midoriya.
Tam thinks it's All Might 3, right? He says he thinks he's a strong contender for it, right? Kevin,
If I had to
what do you
pick
think the
one,
best deck in
or-
the format is? I can go first. I don't think it's Kamui, which is what I'm hearing a lot of people saying. I think that I hear that a lot, where like people like I don't know. Yeah, people like message me a lot and they're like, "Hey, can I have whatever your list is right now? What's this thing?" I also don't think it's Jiro Disaster Dan. I don't think there is a single best deck in the format. I would not put a single deck in the best deck in format slot because there's a lot of like this going on in the current triangle, which I think is the water decks right in this corner. There's the air decks in this corner, and there's the good decks in this corner. And they all do interesting things where the good decks can fucking obliterate the air decks, and they get washed by the water decks. And the air decks have a pretty good time into the water decks, but, you know, it's like they do this. It's kind of like a Pokemon triangle. And I don't know if that's, like, exciting or anything like that to see, but that's what I think is. Like, so there's, like, the single best air deck, which in my opinion is Jiro. There's the single best water deck, which I think is either Asui or Kamui. I think they are very comparable. Kamui goes deeper on the defense. Asui goes deeper on being able to get the turn 2, but I can pivot into a defensive thing, right? And then there's the good decks, which is like Punch Planet on Earth or Good with one of the All Mights, or like Nomu or Ojiro, or still Kirishima, who can still do that thing. You know, I think that Kirishima is half as good, but he's still a character. He's still a character, and he still has insane support. I would be surprised to see him top 8, but I could see him top 16 anyway. But that's what I'm saying. There's my best deck talk. What do you think? There's a single best deck in the format, Kevin?
Probably not. I think you're right that there's a kind of a cloud at the top where I don't know all the matchups. I think there's probably stuff you can do. Like, I know for sure that like there's randomly a ton of hate for the air decks.
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh man, nice meteor shard. It'd be a shame if anyone captured its evildoers.
Right.
True. And so I think so. Some of that comes down to how you build your decks and what you're targeting, what you're sideboarding, what your block zones look like, how people are constructing their own decks. And yeah, I think I never really believed in Texas Smash and Reverse Throw, so I don't know if I believe in the good decks that much.
That's fair.
But I certainly like air and I certainly like water. On a couple different characters for each of them.
Sure.
And I think there's a lot of other stuff going on in the format that's on its surface comparable.
Right.
What if we gave plus 10 damage and plus 4 damage to that reverse throw?
Shut up,
right? What about then, right? For the low cost of the rest of your hand.
For anybody in chat, Tamren Cardwell has to play Midoriya for the provisional because he's a good boy.
He's a good content creator.
He's a good boy content creator who said, if I get 200 subs, I will play Midoriya 1 in the next provisional. So he has to play Midoriya 1, and that's why he's playing Midoriya 1. Not because it's the best deck in the format, Tamren, but because you must play Midoriya 1.
You know,
I would pick Froppy, though, or Frappio, honestly.
Yeah?
I think Osui 1 is probably my pick, because I think she can actually do the most. She has the best game plan.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, and I think too, like if we're talking about best decks, right? Like Froppy has 2 runners in that race. I think it's the life build and the water build.
Yeah.
And they're very distinct actually. Like the life build.
I've never seen the life deck, but I'm sure it's good.
Yeah.
You play 4 Passing the Torch, and you play 8 ways to untap Passing the Torch.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure
and
do.
You
draw so many cards.
And then you clear a card pool while you're drawing so many cards. It's amazing.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
And it's it's actually obscene how good that deck is at blocking. Like I played 8 speed, 10 speed high attacks, and I had to run him out of blocks as Kirishima.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it's insane how much that deck can block.
Right. Yeah, being able to ready pass into the torch is a beating for sure. Water definitely doesn't have that, but water has the fuck out of the attack lineup to be able to like kill people, and also like tape means that like you're gonna get 3 full blocks a turn. You might not block 5 things.
Really good,
like you're not blocking 5 things in a turn, but you are certainly blocking the shit out of 3 things, with wall cling and tape. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Sorry. Continuing with our after our side.
Where are we on the tier list?
Bakugo 1.
Copy A. Bakugo 1. D boys.
D.
Womp womp. He's so fun. Go play him in your locals. He's super fun.
What do you think, Tam? You gave us all a look when we said D.
I just want him to be C so bad. I think Double Front Beatdown Bakugo is so sick.
Yeah, but you're gonna check a 1. You're gonna check a 1, dude.
Kugo deck. Sure, I want to know Burn Kugo is over. That thing is not even taken a game. Burn Kugo
for
sucks.
sure. Yeah, no. You just like build 4 on turn 1, and then you just open 2 Double Front Beatdowns, and then you
check
like
a 1.
And then you jam Latent Skills and Destined for Mainstream Successes for free off the top of your deck, and then you just like draw more cards, and then you swing more, and then you draw more, and you swing more, and then you like put them to half, and then you like steal some momentum, and then you give Powerful 2 to your throw card.
How do I put this guy in Tamren Carwell tier? Where's the Tamren Carwell tier?
We need a new tier, I think.
I think I just want him to top 16 so bad. I don't think he could ever survive past C, but like I think for the same reason, like you could accidentally just go and roll a bunch. You could with a solid run get C tier, but his probably consistency he's a D.
Elevated by spirit when you said you open with a 4 build, 2 copies of your 1 check, and your accomplishment is that they're at half.
Yeah. You were like, I got my best case scenario, and I did 7 damage.
Yeah, man, it's sweet.
So like I remember when Relentless Barrage got previewed, people were like, "Oh, this guy's terrifying now, right? Like,
Yeah.
and
It's a good trick.
it's a neat trick. It's for sure a neat trick, but he has to get you to 14 before it's like worth mentioning, right?
Yeah.
He's never doing that.
Yeah, and so like that I think is like the only thing you like I would consider like, yeah, that's like death, right? And it's not consistent or good yet.
I like his kit though. I think like Blast Rush Turbo is the one that counts Fury attacks, and if you cleared something, I think that card's really cool and
That one is sick.
probably a little underrated.
Yeah, that card's nuts. I've died to that card a lot.
Yeah.
100%. That counts to potato,
Against Bakugo?
which not a lot of things count to potato in this format, you know?
Yeah.
That's
That's a key part of that Eraserhead deck too, by the way, because a card discards stuff from the card pool for its infuriatingly narrow condition for 1 speed 3 damage. Erase.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only deck that can play that card anyway. So it's
If
fine.
if it had combo, I'd be all in because all I want to do is play Aizawa's UR, you know.
Dude, no, his UR is like, what does even the combo do? It's like they discard a card.
They discard a card, yeah.
Dude, just play it as a 3-DF 4-speed low for 5 that target seals something.
Sure, that's true. You know, that's
the Tim Keefe special. Just play fuck the other ability. We're
Well-
playing Rose Mystique.
well, no, there's extreme value in it just saying like okay, for me it targets seals passing the torch, and then discards the card out of your hand. Nuts, crazy,
Easy.
disgusting,
Absolutely.
gamer card. Anyway, yeah. So I do think Bakugo's the D tier. Next one, Denki.
Big Danks.
Yeah.
He can get there. I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. There's definitely this is the workshop character, right? This is build your own combo condition.
He is the only good order character
True.
because he has 7 hand size, so he
Yeah.
can block,
He can block.
which is good. We love
And
that.
sometimes, Phil, he takes an extra turn.
Sometimes,
That's
yeah.
True. That is
If you believe in
true.
7 hand size order characters, you should believe in Ida too.
Do you know that tape swing is a charge?
That's decent.
It hits the
That's
condition
pretty
of
decent. That's
doing
pretty decent.
damage with a charge attack.
Yeah.
And yeah.
This is Mr. Two Time, right? Mr. Two Time? Is Mr. Two Time C tier or is he B tier? That's the question. Would you be surprised to see him in a top cut?
I would be
Right
surprised to see him
now,
top cut,
Yeah.
personally, but-
I don't know if I would, but only because I'm working on him, and I don't have to toot my own horn, but
Hey,
no,
I'm in.
he's probably C tier, dudes.
All right, I'll put
Nah, I'm in, Phil. Let's go for B. I'm in. I believe in you.
I don't get to play in any of the provisionals.
I'm
They sell
putting him
too
ahead of
quickly,
Nomu
so-
because fuck that guy.
Yeah, Nomu sucks, dick.
All right, cool. Ida 1. Good thing we don't have Miles Tyler in this chat right now.
This character
He
does
does
nothing, right? Like he just
I think Ida is sideboard tier.
he sits in the side deck, but only
sits- what
because
does
you also side deck in 4 copies of his 2/4, and then you just hope to flash their attack.
No, I sideboard
People, yeah.
I sideboard into him in characters that can't beat Aizawa, which are like Denki, Shigaraki, and I can't sideboard into him in Ojiro unless I'm playing Fire, but that would be one, right? Bakugo is the other sideboard out, I think, for some of those characters. But yeah, I think he's a sideboard tier character in my opinion for the provisional. I would not start with Ida. Yeah, that's what I think.
So D then.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think I would put him D. I don't think he's very good.
Next to his
Love
his brother
yeah, I
Tenya
think-
Ida
yeah. Can you put him can you just put the other one at the far side of D? Can we just put him
No,
at the end?
they're gonna be
already, or
together.
no?
Look here, they're gonna hold hands over here. They're holding
That's good
hands
for them.
next to each
They
other.
don't do any. They just don't do anything.
Yeah.
And we've already talked about all the ways speed doesn't actually kill people right now because of all of the nice answers to it. So,
Well, no, speed does kill, right? Like that's one of the best things about Ida's like kick. It's,
Zipro Burst does it.
whew, whew, man, that's fast, right? Like it. Well, that's like the coolest card in Aizawa to me is Ida 2's kick because you're like discard a card, draw a card, 2 speed. Discard a card,
Yeah.
draw a card, 2 speed. Catch.
I like that. I want you to know
Yeah.
I did consider him as an order possibility because I was like, discard a card, draw a card. It's okay.
Yeah,
right?
it's pretty alright.
I believe in Ida too. I believe in Ida too.
Okay. You
I think
believe in
Ida 2 might be better than Ida 1.
I would be super
I
surprised to see him
I
in top
actually
cut.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I actually
Alright.
agree with. I agree with.
I
Ida 2
can
being better than
see
Ida
Ida
1,
2
which is
being
funny.
in C tier just because Kevin Broberg might one day show up with an Ida 2 deck and make
So-
top 16.
So what's sweet? Well, there's a couple things that Ida 2 has going on. One of them is that you can respond on your opponent's turn to put their attack at double printed speed, and then -2 that shit.
I did see you
And
do
then-
that, and then you DR even
Yeah,
more
your
with
ability to
creepies.
do that. I mean, now his spam is now good, and his like if you have flip -2 damage on a spam, that's actually like we don't have that in standard. It's better than the options we have in standard, that kind of thing.
That's true.
And then you combine that with the sticky balls, sticky realization thing. You know, he's a 7 order character who draws even more cards. So you can find those sticky balls. You can loot away your duplicate sticky balls, and then he also gets to do the tape plus ultra thing. And like he can actually play plus ultra on offense too. That was the big thing.
True.
And if you double the speed, you can double his responsive speed. If you double damage, you can double heroic lineage's damage, and you can double both those also double recipro extends stats.
Yeah, response speed.
I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, I think plus ultra
pretty
with
good, I mean,
response
not
speed
bad.
stuff is kind of crazy, right? Like one thing I didn't consider when I looked at plus ultra was that the fact that it doesn't say
doesn't say
double the
printed.
printed damage of that attack,
yes.
and then you look at Jiro, who's just like foundation, home run, comet, and then she doubles the
it.
speed, right? And then Yahtzee's momentum, right? Like that can be pretty good, and same with recipro burst, right? Like for the cost of 1 momentum, I can get way more speed this way if I like recipro extended or something like that before it. So I agree. Since his R is at response speed, and
He's also a 7 hand size character.
yeah,
Yes.
I do think he's
like,
better.
He's more than a 7, honestly.
Yeah, because he gets to cycle one, right? It's like
Yeah.
Toga's kind of like an asterisk 7-hander because she answers her own question in her thing,
Yeah,
right?
like actually, like 7 asterisk is probably correct. It's like he's still really a 7, but like he's like more than a 7.
Yeah.
I think we're talking about him too long for him to be in D tier, guys. I think we gotta bump that bad boy up to C.
Damn. All right, I'm down. And he's
I
the order
think
character Phil is looking for.
I think he is good enough as a character with his abilities to maybe do something with enough work. And that's, I think, what the criteria for C was, correct? Like, with enough work, someone could make this guy work.
And really good indiscriminate shocks.
True.
Like really good indiscriminate shocks.
You love that card. I
Yeah,
agree.
that's sick.
It's
That
pretty
card's
good.
insane. That card.
It is
That card
one of
punishes.
the
Plus
ways
4 speed
orders
sounds
can kill
hype.
people.
All right.
Man.
Jiro, who is I think the best air character. Character, you might
I mean,
say.
I think it's just air, right? I think it's just A tier. It's
Yeah.
like not. I don't think she's the best deck in the format. I don't
Yeah. She
really
does enough good things.
You know, in kind of the same way that I didn't understand why Aizawa hadn't put up any results. I don't really understand how many results Jiro's putting up. I've played a bunch of Jiro, and maybe I just like play her bad. I just have like bad habits from
No,
playing.
you're unlucky.
not Jiro.
You're unlucky like me, dude.
Yeah, I played Bromley's Jiro deck one time, and I'm pretty sure it's the same deck that everybody's playing still, the same type of deck, and I got washed.
Yeah.
I was like, Bromley, your deck has no text. He's like, no, there's so many.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the problem with that deck is that so there's a lot of points of interaction. I think like it needs momentum, so capturing evildoers straight wrecks it, right? Same with that Sierra card. What's their plan? That like a lot of times they're snapping momentum to get to the string that they need, and you can interact with it, and it really puts a hindrance on it. Also, there's a 0 diff called Desperate Times that absolutely shits on her kill turn. There have been a lot of times where I played
She's not exactly one card in that deck for exactly the value.
No,
of right?
but it's the lead in on every one of her turns, right? Because there's like absolutely 0 Jiro because she's an actual 6-hander most of the time until she draws specialized sound waves, where she goes specialized sound waves, yeet a momentum. All right, now we start talking about my turn, you know. And like Jiro now suddenly is like, oh, stack 2 6s because I can't draw anymore when I have 2 Desperate Times. And most of the time, actually, what happens is because I'm not playing into Kevin Broberg, they go draw a card, and I'm like, flip 3 of these, commit 3 foundations, please, on your turn. You know, and so like I'm not talking.
It's actually it is 2 attacks because a lot of Jiros are playing on by Ring Slash. So that's another thing that triggers that.
I think she's like a B tier, guys. I don't know.
I think
I understand she's at the top of like the meta game because she's very popular, but I don't see it. I've never like looked at it and been like, this is the shit right here.
All right, so here you want to hear a controversial opinion? All right, here we go. In person, Omaha. Online, Provisional.
Yeah, you think it's that? Is it that worse in online? You think?
Them,
it is very, very noticeably worse.
Yeah. Them knowing
Them
what's on
getting
top
to
of their
know
deck.
it, yeah.
Them knowing what's on top of their deck. Even though she's buffed, they don't know what's on top of your deck.
Sure.
Them knowing what's on top of the deck is way
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I played her in the online a lot, where I got to know what was on top of my deck, and then I played like regular Jiro, and it was a noticeable difference. Very noticeable.
Sure,
like going back to it, I was like, oh, I have to like consider this now. Like the mind game is there, and the mind game is actually quite big. But yeah, I do think that she is the best air deck because she has the potential to just like sack. So I would not be surprised to see her in 8 because there's a lot of times that I've been sacked out of top 16 by like the 15th place person, and like because they just went, slam me out of there. So I could definitely see her in top 8 very, very easily.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I have a hard time not seeing her in top 8. Honestly, I think she's gonna be very popular for one thing.
Yeah,
and like she gets to have like. She gets to put damage on zero gravity, which is already a big throw.
Yeah.
She gets to put speed on home run count, which is the biggest attack in the format.
Yeah.
And she gets to have all these tools for consistency in the meantime. And she's just very explosive. She can play a long game competently.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's very good.
Her being able to plus ultra a throw is really lame. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Like I said, I don't see her being like. I don't want to put her in A. I don't know. I just don't see it. But
again, like I said,
I think she's very good
in person.
No, you have to understand that My Hero Academia is full of bad cards, and
That's
so
terrible,
this
I know.
mediocre card is like above rate.
Yeah,
that's probably fair. But I think our B tier is lacking a little bit, so I like Aaron B.
All right. Comley Woods, a character who can be played on all 3 of his symbols. By the way.
Those symbols are all actually pretty good, huh?
Yeah, he's got 3 very viable decks.
I think this is a very easy A.
Yeah, one of the best decks.
He shits on string decks. Like he's got a lot going for him.
Yeah, so he's very generic, and so like this is a character I think that will get worse as more and more sets come out because he's like generic strength. As support comes out and like we reach like the best range attacks, the best fury attacks, they will outscale him because his usefulness in just being like a neutrally very, very like solid character will get beaten out by synergies like fleshing out. That's my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like this character I think gets blown out by Bakugo 2 if like looking at Bakugo 2's stuff, right? Because he's going to try to block everything and he's going to be like get to the 4th attack on Bakugo 2's turn and be like, "All right, it has -4 damage." And Bakugo 2's like, "Yeah, and powerful 5." so that's something we don't really have in this format outside of like Nomu and Jiro, right? Like there's a lot of characters who get really like dumpstered by even Asui hates getting blocked 3 times by Kamui, right? And on air you get blocked 3 times by Kamui and then also he has 2 creepy realizations and you're like, yeah, he can't block anymore. But also I have actually -9 on my last 2. Oh. That's right. So like, yeah. All right. I'm done talking about him in the future. But yeah, I do think he's an A. Oh, no.
And there go our pictures.
There it goes. I'll fix it.
There they go.
What a coincidence! We bring up Comley Woods,
and the man shows up.
Yeah, no, and Woodman himself shows up into our chat.
Is Comley Woods the best deck in the format?
I mean, I heard you were talking shit.
That's literally not what was happening, but we respect your opinion anyway.
I felt it.
I think
we were talking shit about like Bakugo. That's true.
I mean,
yeah.
So if you look at like the other characters that are sharing A tier with him, right? If we look at All Might, we look at Froppy. Those are string characters, and this guy's just really good into string characters. So you could like make the argument of like he beats, quote unquote, beats the other 2 A tier characters, so he would be the best A tier? Question mark.
There's a secret to Kamui Woods. There's a secret to Kamui Woods that's very interesting, Tam, and that's if you look at Froppy, if you look at Jiro, if you look at decks like that, they could secretly be a Kamui deck, and you would never even know. Like Kamui is so versatile; he can easily side into Froppy, he can easily side into Jiro or like Ochako. Like when you run a tournament, everyone could be Kamui, and you couldn't be able to tell. There's a Kamui in all of us, right?
We've even seen Kamui and Nomu.
These are the Kamuis we made along the way.
Yeah, the Kamui made along the way. Like Kamui and Nomu is a great combination because you have a character that's very good at defending and a character that just beats you to death, right?
And a character that sucks.
It's a little worse because coordinated is gone, so Nomu's less scary.
Yeah.
But like I think his versatility is something worth considering, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think he's one of the best characters.
Yeah, that's why we got him at A.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's safe.
If I'm picking between best decks, I'm probably picking between him and Asui, honestly.
Yeah.
I just think that they
Like,
offer too much.
I think if Six Tenders comes out on those symbols that can support a string, they can like reliably put Kamui in the side in case they need to become a 7-hander, right?
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
And I think A is fine. Who else is an S? It's
We have no
AMP.
S tier characters.
There is no S tier character.
We have no best deck and format characters. We have 3 A tier characters, which is Gen Con Promo, All Might, Asui, and Kamui Woods.
That makes sense to me. Yeah. I'm down to clown.
And then we have in-person Jiro as also A tier, but webcam Jiro as B tier.
Yeah.
Or
All right, so anyway, that was my TED talk about Kamui. I think that he gets worse later, but he's very good now.
Sure.
I agree.
Yeah. He's
Kirishima.
Kirishima.
Who's still playing this fucking character? Because it's not me.
I'm probably just gonna take my deck and try it anyway.
Hell yeah.
I kinda believe it.
Oh, hey.
The run back.
I think he's still like fine, right? Like the thing is that now he is way less forgiving, right? Way
just a
less
five-hander
forgiving.
now, right?
He's way less forgiving. However, that character's support is bonkers. Okay,
Sure.
he has by far the best support in the game. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hard and Chop isn't even good.
No, I'm not talking about Hard and Chop. I'm just talking about
Chop's so good.
even with Coordinator for being gone, his foundation lineup of Harden, a mainly passionate guy,
good.
Resistance, right? Those 3 foundations are like, man, I
They're
want
so
to
good.
I want to play 4 of all of those, right? I want to play 4 of all of those, and on Void specifically, which is I think his best symbol. I think that he has access to even more of just an incredibly good foundation base. So like I think he's still very, very playable. I would not be surprised to see Kevin Broberg, top 16, top 8 the event. Now, I think that because he's way less forgiving, I would be surprised to see him make the final. I would be surprised to see him win because he's much less forgiving. He's no longer like just existing to forgive you for like not sculpting right for that turn's blocks and stuff like that,
yeah, like he's much worse into aggro, right? Like before, he was really good against aggro matchups because he could just minus damage and then defend you well. But now aggro is like really bad for him, right?
Right.
Like, Tokoyami can kill him really easily now.
Right. So
I don't know, man.
So-
B seems so like generous to me.
if you use his like build or his pickup enhance on both turns, you're down in foundation now, right?
Yep.
Whereas before,
Yes.
if you just used it once on both turns, you were neutral. You can no longer get your free card, and like you can safely poke this guy now on 2, which is one of the things that I really disliked about playing against him is that I could go first and like poke him. I didn't want to because he's gonna get his free. He gets a free foundation, right? So like I hear you, Phil. I would put him in C. I would put him in C personally, but like I would not be surprised to see Kevin like top 8 this event.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kevin top with fucking anything in C tier.
Yeah,
so
that's
that's
fair.
like
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would.
you could eat a
I
two
guess-
there.
yeah.
My
He is in
specific
there.
my specific gripe now is I guess that I feel like it was such an over nerf.
Yeah.
Like if you're only letting him build one foundation only on his turn, I don't see any reason why you should be like, yeah, this guy can not pick up 2. He would be so he then has to play a dedicated long game, and then at least the character has an identity that's not or at least like his offense isn't as scary without coordinated effort, and he can't build every single turn. Like
Yeah.
it
they
just
turn
feels
the
like
board into wood, man.
loosey-goosey to me.
The whiplash of people being so privileged of like he did do this very, some would say, Jasko agrees, unfair thing now to doing this very fair thing. People are like, I would be surprised if we saw 5 Kirishimas at the event.
Yeah.
256 players, 5. I'd be like, wow, that's a lot of Kirishimas. Just
Right.
because like people
Yeah.
are so used to like him being played. Like when you take people's toys away, they get mad about it and they'll just jump
Yeah.
ship. They
Yeah.
don't want to
Those
try
are
and work
cool
through the
numbers.
problem.
I got a new toy now.
To be fair, 5 Kirishimas is more Dekus than we usually have, so that's not that bad.
So Kevin, I haven't played Kirishima since the nerf because I haven't
I haven't either.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's what I was gonna ask. Have you tried it? Because like in my head, I'm like, this is half as good. Actually, like by the numbers, half as good. Like his abilities.
That's not really how it works.
Right.
Like, you
Didn't he technically get nerfed today?
Yes.
Yeah,
Today was the day. Today was
coordinated
Judgment
effort
Day, dude.
is finally dead.
Yeah, February was the coordinated effort month, and now there's no friendship anymore.
Yeah.
True. We hate friendship.
I mean, like, you know, all the cards in the deck are still good that aren't coordinated effort. Like, they're.
Sure.
I didn't believe in the Hardened Chop deck before, or like especially like the good deck or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't believe in the decks that were just like, yeah, I'm going to play a 2-speed throw every turn of the game for 7 turns, and they're going to chip you out for half damage every turn, and they'll actually somehow win the game. Like, I never believed in that. But I think like attacking with Recipro Extend and building a foundation and drawing a card has such a high ceiling that if I don't run into any decks that are specifically targeting me and I get to go first in every game, I kind of still believe that deck could win a lot. Is that deck better than average? I don't know. Probably.
Damn, I love your energy. If I get to go first every game, dude. Woo.
That's some
yeah,
real
like,
Bakugo slot machine energy. That's for
win
sure.
those dice rolls, baby.
Yeah,
in a 256 player tournament, like that in 8 rounds, someone has to win all their dice rolls. I'm just saying.
True.
One person makes
Statistically,
8
someone's
coin
got
flips.
loaded dice.
256. Well, I mean that's the lovely thing about the way that you just gotta. I make my opponent choose the 50-50, so I'm not making every dice roll. My opponents are just failing every time, right? Yeah.
And that helps the numbers for sure.
It helps the numbers.
Right?
Yeah. All right.
Just in terms of somebody has to win the event, and it's likely to be the person. Like, you have to have good luck to win a tournament, right?
Sure.
And is
Yeah, it's
Kirishima
not
good
all
enough
skill.
to have good luck to win a tournament? I probably maybe 50-50. I think he is certainly. I think I didn't need. I got more good luck than I needed to win the provisional. I think.
Sure.
I think my deck was better than everyone else's in the tournament. I felt like I had an advantage in every match. I don't.
Are so handsome too.
Yeah.
And you were
I
better
guess the
looking
question
than your opponents.
Yeah, the question is, does a lucky Kirishima ever beat an unlucky All Might 3? Sure. I can see it.
Yeah,
Does it usually happen? No, he's gonna die, but I can see it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, I
Yeah.
still think that Kirishima has a good matchup there.
Yeah,
actually,
maybe
by the way.
Kirishima might just be spanking All Might 3s all
Yeah,
day.
I do think that Kirishima still has a great matchup
We're actually
there.
setting up Kevin Broberg to go back to back because
Yeah.
he's gonna keep playing Kirishima, and we're gonna tell you guys that All Might 3's best
Listen,
second format.
I think this guy All Might over here is not that great, and I think Kirishima slams that even now, personally, because I think he slams it because he's still got.
That's not how the show went, but okay.
You do get to play around the speed or damage pump pretty good by holding one card in your hand.
Yeah, by holding you get and blocking another one, right, and having a fat booty and his foundation lineup, like resistance is very good in that matchup.
Yeah.
All Might doesn't he doesn't. Right, he can keep playing attacks. He can keep moving forward.
Oh, yeah.
Because that draw to.
Yeah.
He's got gas in the tank.
He's got plenty of gas in the tank.
If All Might doesn't draw 3 Texas Smash, I can see that, but he's gonna. So, and
I don't know. I don't believe in that deck personally.
Do we like C tier for Kirishima though, as a collective unit?
I like C tier for it. I like C tier for it.
yeah,
think
C
C
tier
tier's
for
very
see you in
safe.
finals. Yeah.
Thanks for the follow there, bud. I'm down with it. Yeah, I'm down with C tier. Kurogiri, have you
and the
guys
Prime.
have you seen this guy Kurogimi?
Yo, I low-key think this guy could do so many cool things and never kill everybody.
That is actually
real.
it. If this guy can find a kill condition,
Yo,
I think he's one of the most annoying decks in the entire world.
Are you
I've
seeing
played
this
2
guy
matches.
Are you seeing this guy with villains defeated? Isn't that
Yeah.
just straight gas?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
They don't have attacks ever. They get removed from the game. They're at the
Well,
bottom
that's how you
of the
win. That's how you win. You play Hardened Jab, you pick up villains defeated, they blast like
Keep
the
playing
fool they
it,
are.
like the fool they are. They
Yeah, like how I feel about this character is kind of like he's like a worse Janet, and Janet already has issues winning the game sometimes, right?
Wow. Let's go head hustle.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wowzer's in there, dude. Thank you so much. Fantastic
Like
support.
that's how I feel. His character is purely defensive, so he needs a kit that can kill somebody, right?
All right, I am getting in the chat, dude. He does have order, but also his best card is villains defeated, which does not have order.
Also,
There's no way this guy lives in a world where he doesn't play villains defeated, right?
I think that this is actually a B tier character. I think if this guy can put up a good enough wall, can find some way to chip you out, play your throws. I think if this guy gets into top cuts, I think he just eats people alive, actually. I think this guy's biggest issue is going to be the timer. He's got to find a way to win a game in an hour.
I mean, so if you're a Void, you can take Kevin's kick package, which is actually pretty effective. And then you could just like, if somebody decides that they're just like, well, I'll just build until there are already enough attacks on my yard, then you could just sideboard in tape swings or something like that. So I can see that. I think he's C tier though, because you have better options on the Void symbol.
So bad. I want
He's
to
a
play
real
him so bad.
I've played as this against this guy on stream, and it is so demoralizing whenever like your super cool flow Bakugo 3 damage move, like you like play your crazy dunk and they put the 3 damage move in your hand, and you're like, oh, well, this used to kill you. I guess it's just 3 now.
Okay, but
right,
let me
fine.
posit a different situation. You're playing Kamui on water, and you play a Heat Wave, and he puts Ice Storm in your hand. Like, I'm still happy. I'm still very happy. Whatever attack is in that discard pile, I'm super down with, you know?
I don't know, man. Doesn't your cowboy deck put like 800 attacks? There's got to be a bad one, right?
You can give me Eat My Sticky Balls, I'd still be happy.
Yeah, so it's your fourth attack of the string trying to finish the game.
Yeah,
and you play your Tongue Whip, and he says, "How about you eat my sticky balls instead?"
Yeah, there you go.
And
okay.
you go from a 8 damage attack to a 4 damage attack.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Well, but I had
played on a 7.
most of the time when I have that situation, it's like you're still backed up by Kamui giving it 3 damage and creepy realizations and stuff like that, right?
Sure.
Yeah, like it's definitely not as tall as that Tongue Whip was, but also I'm not walking into that response like that.
Yeah.
You know, like personally, I'm not walking into that response like that.
What?
So
You mean that people can play around that?
yeah, but yeah, I hear you.
I
hear you, Dan.
Very good against Ochako, I think.
Yeah.
Ochako
he also has like accidental like Pool Demogid and Vega energy on his face, right?
Yeah,
I love this guy. I don't know how the fuck I would ever kill anybody. I would.
That's
play
his
this
one
guy,
issue.
Yeah. All right, so I'm here for.
I'm okay with C.
Yeah, I'm here for C. I'm here for C personally.
I would not go above C because I don't think this guy's better than nerfed Kirishima.
What's your call?
I don't think anyone's gonna enter with him.
Yeah, because they're not gonna get the card.
Yeah. Also, there's also that issue.
Yeah, they're not gonna get the card by then.
You know when you can play this character in the unfun stuff tabletop simulator invitational or money event, then you can play it because it's on TDS.
Yeah,
I'm a B man. I think he could totally do it.
Okay,
I believe.
Jose.
I think we cut the middle. It seems.
I'll give him C for running the clock.
For running the clock. All right, cool. All right, Midnight.
I don't even know what Midnight does. I'm gonna go read it.
Commit 1 foundation. Give this attack speed equal to the number of keywords it has. So if it has keyword soup,
or minus speed.
Or minus speed. That's true. Yeah. So it's like average 2, right?
Yeah. I think it's like filter or hand, I guess.
There are decks where it'll be 3 against everyone. There's probably 3 plus 3 for all the moves you're gonna play in your deck.
Right. For her stuff.
Is there any like crazy move you can play with like 5 keywords?
Fiddler Swing.
The most is 4, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good 3s.
So you can make like really fast
has
Pillar
3.
Swing.
Yeah.
And the Scimitar Chug has 3, I think.
Okay, guys. Now here's the real question: do people enter with this character because they think they can win, or because of mommy milkies?
Why not both?
Yeah, Phil. Both.
This is why they will promote your stream.
This is why we're brand risks. Well, what's your excuse then, Broberg?
Yeah, you're also a brand risk, sir.
Yeah, what's your excuse, man?
Register isn't on the thing, so.
Yeah, I do think that this character is like it's super cool, but she has, in the same way that Kamui is gonna get worse over time, she's gonna get better over time.
Yeah, she'll get better.
Right,
sure.
right. Like Kamui is like he's just plus to all my stuff and minus to all your stuff, and there aren't dunks in the format, so like he's like eating you alive because you have to play strings. Eventually, there will be dunks, like enough dunks to go around. She's like just waiting, like Gil was kind of waiting for like the right package, right? Gil wasn't like broken on release. He was playable, but he wasn't broken. And then like a ton of 2 keyword, 1 keyword cards came out, and then he was like, this guy's pretty good. So like, I can see you're getting that's. I think that her committed, like, that's cost. That's a real cost. You know, like, it's like Todoroki. It's actually like +1 difficulty to all your stuff to do that. But like, she could get good feasibly if there's like
you could commit gotchas, guys.
Like if they print Nutcracker in this format, right? She's like sick. You know, cool.
Yeah.
8 high 8.
You know, like she's a 6-hand size who doesn't add damage or help her difficulty, right? She just adds speed. Right. She has to find that damage somewhere, and she has to get it around their blocks, right? They're just gonna say, you know, like, here's my throw, and I'm gonna put 3 speed on it. And they're like, I take throws anyway. I'm at 20.
Also, this
like, all right.
the filter isn't a form, which is a big part for me.
Right,
if
you
that's
can't
like
triple
form,
mulligan?
If that's like form commit,
I'm
down for B tier.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm down for D tier.
I think you guys. I don't know. I'm actually. This is so crazy. I think she's like an AB. Actually, I think she under the
I don't
chaos
think
symbol.
Tamren's
She's
ever
got
played the
so.
game.
She has so many great
I
cards.
think that I've played the game more than anybody in the entire world at this point, Phil. I think I've officially done that.
Like, she has so many good cards that she's good 3 speeds too. Like, if she just checks 5s, she will kill you because then commit is not a real cost. Like, if she just checks good, you're dead. I think, honestly.
If you have, I think under chaos she has indiscriminate shock. As long as you have stronger in darkness, right? You can Dark Shadow Ruin and give it +4 speed and then trigger its stun ability, right? Or +3 speed maybe.
How are you
+3 then trigger it, right?
How are you defending on the chaos symbol though? Apart from just like turning your entire foundation base into -2 speed.
So there's that, right? Which chaos just inherently doesn't have. Like, it doesn't have good speed hate. She is the speed hate just on her face, right?
Yeah, it's releasing clever distraction.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah, man.
You have to get speed and damage for Dark Shadow Ruin. Oh,
yeah, for sure. Stronger darkness, right?
Yeah, stronger darkness helps that.
Yeah.
So her comboed with the release, if she doesn't want you to touch her, you won't. You just won't. And then she can just go and filter her hand of like, oh man, I guess on this one move, I'll discard all these bad moves, these foundations, and dig deeper for attacks, right? Like, if she can find one move, as she's kind of like that classic 5-hander issue of like, oh man, I drew all foundations in one attack. I guess I don't get to do anything. But she gets a do-over every single turn that she does that.
That's true.
To just try and just rip more gas. I think this character has a lot of legs, man. Your Electric Jolt's getting +3 speed. Your Blitz Rush is getting +2 speed. Like,
what blocks Jolt anyway?
That's not a real player.
Jolt is so good. Shut up.
Ice Storm getting +3 speed, right?
Oh, that's a big one. I like that one.
Like there's some schmooze that this character gets to do, but at the same time, I think she's like, and like the coolest part is you could like accidentally put her in like a Tokoyami sideboard because of how the chaos symbol works, and just be like, well, you melted me as a 7-hand size character. Well, now I'm a 28-hand size character that gets to just auto block all your moves as opposed to -1 damage. So your one dunk that killed me, nah, dude, that's got -4 speed. Sorry, man.
I'm getting on board with B tier.
You have confidently and like very, very eloquently talked me from a D tier to a C tier.
Hell yeah.
That's actually where I'm at too. I do think
you have sold me that she is actually playable and people could make a top 16, and I agreed with everything you had to say there.
Yeah, I still think she's B, and I haven't played the deck, but I've played against people whose first versions of the deck were very scary against me.
Okay.
I think that she's a B easy.
Was it scarier than Aizawa and Jiro?
I think it was just as scary, but so I think it could be just as scary, right? I think it was very, very rough first drafts, right?
I'm trying to I guess in my head I'm trying to imagine a world where she's like better than Denki, because I think Denki's actually good, but unexplored.
So here's the
thing. I think Denki does that better.
I'm hearing all the things you're saying, right? But like, it's the same reason why I would put Todoroki in C tier. She still has to make every one of those good moves you talked about +1 difficulty, and one of those was a 6 diff, right?
Yeah.
One of those is a 5 diff. I hate 5 difficulties in Todoroki. Like, the only one I can stand is the throw, and like everything else is a 4 diff or less, and she doesn't have very many good options there. Like you're talking about if she just roll 5s and stuff like that. Like, I really liked playing Todoroki, and I loved saying he was bad because he is kind of bad. Like +1 difficulty on my moves is a real cost.
Way different than Todoroki.
Oh, sure.
Because like adding 8 damage to something is just a profoundly different thing than adding 3 speed.
I understand, and also she gets to go minus, right? She gets to go in both directions, and she does it on the first turn that she gets to go in, right? She is not Todoroki, but the +1 difficulty is what I'm talking about, right? Like it's harder to like it's harder to sell me on like a deep string where you went like attack, and the third one was indiscriminate shock, and like that was an actual threatening like do something string when like you were playing like 5 diff +1 difficulty on each one of them, you know? Like that's what I'm saying.
Committing foundations.
Does it change your mind at all that she gets requesting assistance as like an option to re-ready stuff?
No, because that's not consistent at all. You have to have momentum. I wouldn't rely on that card personally. Like it's a good card. It
helps.
Yeah, it's not requesting assistance and amphibious in Ochako, right? Like that's free. Right. That I would consider, right? But like
amphibious does.
Yeah.
First day of class.
First day of class is pretty good.
Yeah, she does get to play first day of class. That's true.
With Summon Dark Shadow.
Yeah. I hear you though. I'm with you, and I have definitely like now I'm like top 16, like Tamren said. That makes sense. I
guess like it's kind of like would it be a quote midnight deck or would it be a deck that has a midnight in it? Right? Is it fronting Ochako? Is it fronting Tokiyami? Is it fronting other characters?
So like what Tamren's describing is definitely like a very unique thing, right? She gets to play like Summon Dark Shadow in the same, she gets to play Dark Shadow Ruin in the same deck as Indiscriminate Shock, and it's not Tokiyami, right? Like this sounds like a package that could also run like Meteors. It can also run like
her home run comments are pretty good.
Home run comment.
Home run comment is the
it's good, especially with Ruin also being a high attack.
This sounds like a good deck to me, you know.
That's what I'm saying. I think she easily could squeak in at the top 8.
Yeah,
I feel that. I believe.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I think it's just that we are talking about it. Like, I guess we're not disagreeing with the top 8 thing. It's just that the characters in B and A tier are working way less hard to do it.
Yeah.
Those characters are like getting in probably for free.
I vote C.
But I could see her beating the shit out of some of those decks sometimes.
Yeah.
Kevin, you're getting a stamped one of these, right? And undecided on your deck? Go prove me right, my guy.
Well,
I'm about it. Listen, Tam, if it makes you feel any better, if it makes you feel any better, Tam, you've almost talked me into this for Bromley's thing on Sunday. I'm pretty close.
Hell yeah, dude. I think you actually should, Phil.
I'm pretty close.
She's a lot of unexplored territory, and bonus Big Mommy Milkers, right?
Milkies, baby. If there's one thing Phil likes, anime tits.
I can discard 5 cards and draw 5 cards that are like on just 5 like different symbols that I've never seen this entire game before. That's on fire.
All right,
these 5 one-ofs are bad. I'll get 5 different one-ofs.
All right, next up.
I meant the real event, guys.
Mina Ashido.
Wait, I thought next up was Midoriya.
What? Who?
Oh, we're skipping him, guys.
Mina Ashido? What?
Yeah, we're skipping him. It's fine. I get it.
All right.
I'm gonna go read her now because she's also a promo.
She is a promo. That's true. No, we can
talk.
talk.
Is this alphabetical order? What order is this in?
So we can
random.
It was UVS Ultra. I went through UVS Ultra and I saved it all and then I put it in a thing. So this is what came out. We can talk about Deku. Would I be surprised to see it in top 16?
Yes. Tamren?
Guys, no.
Yep.
Please. Give me the confidence.
Yeah.
Give me the energy.
Tamren, I watched you play 700. I watched you play 700 games yesterday, and you know what my only advice I have for you is?
Yeah.
You start the game is you play Midoriya, and then as soon as your opponent is done shuffling their cards, you scoop, go to side decks, and put in All Might for game 2. Because you will have quicker games. You won't be wasting time playing a bad character like I did with Skullman 2 at a Worlds, where I could have scooped game 1, played my Spike 1 deck, and I won every single game doing that, Tamren. I just realized this plan 4 rounds in. Just do that plan right away, and you are in business, but you will also be scamming your subs out of money.
Yeah, no, the thing is that Tamren Carwell is too much of a good guy to do that. He's like, I need to do the good old college try. I literally sat last night, and I was like,
Bill,
I want to...
only Bill
Go ahead.
do that.
Only villains
true.
do that. Yeah,
That's why we're brand risks. and
Listen,
he's
I
not.
tried. I was like, I think the only way you get to like actually like scoop up cards on the opponents, like you have to play Taco Stand Midoriya, where you're like, bam, bam, like he gets double front, and you can just Yahtzee somebody with double fronts, right? So you just build a deck of exclusively 1s and 0 diffs, and you build 3-on-1, and then you try to Taco Stand them the second turn, right? Because he can shove in 20 damage, right?
Oh, he can kill you. I've died to Midoriya.
He can kill you, right? So you just
I lost a match to it.
You just gotta win a few of those, right? Those dice rolls and not check those ones. But Tam was like, no, I want to give this the good old college try and make a good, Midoriya deck, and I appreciate that.
For what it's worth, his deck is actually every good symbol card in the format.
Oh yeah,
and 4 of all of them.
I cut it
He
down.
cut it down to 60, dude. It's 60 now. It's not 66.
No way.
It's not even 78.
Yeah,
It's 60. It's nuts.
I am
Oh
impressed.
man, Jose.
No,
It took a lot.
Hello.
How do I
It's
move
fine.
him around?
Now Tamron's a tiny square.
Look
Hold
at
on.
Tamron's
I'll
tiny
get-
face.
Yeah. Listen.
You didn't lose me. I'm right here,
Half
baby.
of this character is a defensive ability, and I saw Tam play some
so
of the best
happy right
clubs in the
now.
format and be unable to defend against like a 3-speed move. I think this guy's just bad.
I'm sorry,
He's
Tam. I'm
just hot-
fixing it.
Yeah.
trash.
In our powwow last night, as I'm playing Elden Ring for 9 straight hours, I
Yeah.
did watch on my second monitor Tamron Cardwell lose a million games as Midoriya.
I
And if
didn't
you want to
do
watch Tam Cardwell lose 1,000,008, all you got to do twitch.tv/Tam Cardwell
Twitch.tv.
for the provisional.
Hell
No,
yeah.
no.
in chat.
I
Tam,
know that. Yeah.
Go
I
ahead,
know
Jose, go
that Deku has like he can get 10 damage. He can play all these good cards. But at the end of the day, he's just a poo-poo trash monster. Like I don't know how else to say it. He just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, here.
What
I got
does that
you. I got you.
mean?
Tamron, I got you, my dog. I got you. I would rather play Midoriya than eat a one ever.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm in.
Yeah, I'll put him in C because that game because it did surprise me one game, and then I adjusted, right? Like I was like block, and then I took a thing, and then like Tam went that one move that like stun 4s my board.
Yeah, that card is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
right?
I think the punch. I think his kid has got some play.
If
to
you
it.
play the
So
tap,
I'm not
board
gonna explain
punch,
it.
you
I'm
can't
not gonna
win,
explain
yeah.
it because there might be somebody who pairs into Tam, and I want them to be surprised so that my boy can take the game. So I'm done explaining. Okay.
At least one, right? At least
Yeah.
one game.
Yeah. So
I
I think.
think you can
Omaha
comfortably
thing-
ruin 3 people's days.
Yeah. I'm
the
comfortably.
Omaha thing.
You
We
good.
played with the first time people had played my hero only. I played Midoriya playing for top 8, and I bodied him as Kirishima because my deck was more broken than his. But
Yeah.
I do have one.
He had some
I have
moves.
okay. One question for everybody who played in the last provisional. What was the 16th place person's record?
X in 3.
No. X2O.
So you had to be at least 6-2 to make top 16.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was 6
X03
and 2. It was 6 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 6
Oh,
and 2.
6-2. There is no shot you're with 6-2.
Watch me, Phil. Watch me.
There was
That's
a no
a
move
bit
at
of a
6 and 2,
deep.
Phil.
Yeah.
There was a Nomu at 6 and 2.
Hold on, that was Ozai Tyson. He is Nomu. He has the character power. Like if I believe, like it's a difference between someone that really loves their character can go 6 and 2 with someone like Nomu. Tam is not a Deku man. Like he just isn't.
This,
You know?
this guy's not a
Deep down.
Deku man. He's
Yeah, that
more-
guy really
I
wants
mean,
to play
honestly,
Ochako.
he's a midnight player from what I just heard.
He did give us the long
He
sell,
too
dude.
wants the mommy milkies, and I
Yeah.
respect that.
I just think the character's sweet.
I think the text is cool.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm just-
read
I'm just
I
in
read
it
the
for
character
the
card
plot.
for the
Yeah.
the articles.
I'm a
ready for the
purist.
plot.
I
Right.
read the character card for the articles. All right, Mina Ashido. I saw Keenan Meadows play this. We're not talking about set 2, motherfucker.
Oh, okay. I
yeah.
didn't know.
No, I don't think there's anything relevant to say about set 2 characters because
Yeah,
we haven't
I agree.
seen it. Oh, you're trolling me? I love
Yeah.
you, buddy.
No. No. We can talk about Bakugo only. We could talk
Does
about
this
Bakugo
character
specifically.
just do like throws? I guess.
So she gets to do like weird shit, and it's weird shit that gets her into the top of D tier for me personally.
Really?
Yeah, I think that she goes to the top of D tier because it's the pachinko machine, right? You cannot guarantee at any point that you're gonna get what you need for that game, right? So she could surprise me for sure. And I know Keenan slammed like 3-0 in a weekly with it, right? But like, why would you pachinko machine when you can just play any innumerable other characters who are just going to play like a regular human game of UFS.
Now, Bromley,
Yeah.
what if what you need is sticky balls? And what her ability really says is you have a 14-card hand size to find sticky balls.
True.
Yeah, I agree with Kevin. She says that you cannot miss your cool cards, right? If you check them, you can say, "I drew that."
You can find
I totally
it.
drew that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I haven't tried this.
Yeah.
But I have the theory that she is really good for the water deck because she just gets to have sticky balls and creepy realization together.
Right.
And she gets to just do the creep. Like, it's just powerful. It's a good combo.
She does the creep. Right, but like, apart from that...
And then she can grab people, too.
I don't even know what her enhance is. What does she do? She gives a thing like...
One speed if
It gets 1 speed if it deals damage, you gain 1 life.
All right.
Chun-Li 1.
So if they don't block Kamui, right? If he's just giving 1 damage to his entire lineup, right? She is better than Kamui. You've sold me. If they just don't block anything, she is better than Kamui. I think 1 speed is better than 1 damage.
I mean, that's ignoring Kamui's entire defensive.
Shut up.
Vault. Okay.
Kamui doesn't have whatever card he wants at any time, though.
Yeah.
Neither does she. But she maybe gets it.
She gets to dig real hard for like. So Kevin and I had this wonderful typed conversation in chat the other day about how my way of looking at like the likeliness of checking versus drawing things is kind of flawed because you draw before you check, right? Like, because in my head, if you play a full game and it ended exactly on cycle, you have a 50-50 chance of seeing any 1 card in your deck, right? And for each extra copy, you take another coin flip, right? But Kevin pointed out that you draw before you check, so therefore you're always ahead on drawing, right? And she's just like, oh, I get to look on the check as well for those cards that I want to go find. It would be cooler if she got to like draw that card, but she gets to play it at non-prog, and that's pretty cool too.
Better, right? Like, no
playing it for free is a lot better.
Playing it for free, it's literally for free.
Playing for free is no. Playing for free is very, very good. But like personally, I would want to draw it. I would want to draw.
You want to be like, oh, I checked an Ice Storm. I'd like this for defense.
I would want to like if you have like a combo piece or something like that, you really need. But that's because I'm a filthy combo player. You know.
Yeah, the weird
thing
thing is that she
you
doesn't
check a sticky balls as your 4th card.
Yeah,
I'm
she doesn't get any
happy to be alive.
advantage, actually, weirdly enough, because she has to discard a card for it. She doesn't, like, plus on any card. She just trades whatever that is for this.
that thing, yeah.
She's a 7 hand size, and I think that's at least good enough for her to be a C tier for this.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have a hard time in a format this small putting, like, any 7 hand size characters in D tier.
Sure.
I just don't see it.
So I have been upgraded. I'll vote C. What do you, Kevin?
I
what do
give
you
her
think?
C for Pachinko.
For Pachinko. There's a C in that
Yeah,
word.
I don't know if she's a B tier. I don't know if like I'm betting on her to make top 16 or whatever that line is.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
especially because I think it's like like a brew that I have in my mind that seems pretty good, and it's not like a known strategy out in the world already. Like Kamui, if no one had played Kamui, I don't know if I'd be putting Kamui in A tier.
Sure.
But he's a known quantity at this point, so everyone believes in him, and so he's more likely to top.
That's like my exact thing with Midnight, right? Is like you have this list in your head and you're like, ah, shit, this on paper this looks sick, and then like it played 2 games ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
done.
that was my Kirishima too. I never played games like Kirishima.
Damn. Well,
wait, the one you won
I
with?
just think that our C tier is gonna be fucking big, guys. That's kind of where I'm at. Because I don't think I think that our guidelines aren't necessarily too loose. I think they are doing what they need to be doing. I think that, like, I think we all can agree that the characters at the bottom are where they should be, and the characters in C aren't supposed to be somewhere else. They're not the worst characters in the format. They might not make a top 16, but they're definitely not as bad as the ones below them.
They could also surprise me and get into top 16.
Sure.
You know.
I think the saying surprise to get in top 16 is better than saying like they could make a top 16. So I think we should maybe focus more on the surprise.
Yeah.
But I think we're putting people where they probably belong.
Like, oh, cool, that made it. You know, like, wow.
And this is kind of how like I said, I think this is kind of how it was going to look, where we're going to have a very light top of the bracket and a very heavy bottom of the bracket.
Sure.
Because there are going to be some like mix-ups and surprises, but I don't think anybody's going to be like, wow, yeah, that Mina character, put her at the top.
What about my boy Balls? I
built the shittiest deck, so don't rely on me. My deck sucked. It didn't do
A
anything.
for balls.
I think he's pretty good, but it's just like you're playing the most boring defense deck, and you have to try and figure out how to kill people because like your offense sucks.
And
This is Minoru Mineta.
Yeah, Mineta.
Yeah.
He's just like a back swingy guy, right?
He's just like a sideboardy guy.
Like your
Control
tongue
him.
lashes are pretty good, or your tongue whip. I mean, whatever the DLC one is, like that's a
Yeah.
great card, right? Like
Yeah.
you have sticky balls. Like Grape Rush attack is actually pretty fucking nuts. That's an unblockable attack.
Yeah.
That attack cannot be blocked if you are late enough in the game
Yeah.
because your opponent does not want to deal with 4 more attacks usually. At all +2 damage.
That all
like,
had +2, yeah.
Yeah, like that is pretty unblockable. Like I think he is a good character. I don't know, like I couldn't see him being in B tier. Like I don't know. I love the idea of the character, and maybe order just isn't good, but
I think that like if on turn 2, 3, 4, 5 draws 1 tongue whip and then moves, I think he is like a viable character. But like if he like draws a hand of like half and half and no tongue whips or whatever, he's real sus on offense.
I'm, like,
defense, he's annoying. He's so annoying.
I feel like I'm like completely opposite. I feel like you build this like you could just 12 attacks this deck with like tongue whips, sticky balls, grape rush attacks. Build for 5 turns, and eventually you're gonna block enough to kill your opponent. That's where I'm at. Like, I think his defense is super sick, and like he can have an offense. It's grape rush attack. That's it.
If Water had better blocks, that could be like easier to justify. But a lot of Water's great blocks just happen to check a 3, man. It's rough.
Yeah, I sure did.
Water's blocks are surprisingly shit.
When I played into the air symbol, I sideboarded in 4 2-checks because they had a 1 high block. Not because I wanted tape swing, but because they had a 1 high block. I took all my tongue whips that had a 2 low block, and I said, that sucks. Here's a 1 high block. Like, so like that is a thing. Water does not block high very well. This guy has tape though, and wall cling, and on order he's got tape and not wall cling.
On order, okay. The coolest thing I figured out.
Order
is
has good high
you get to-
blocks, though.
You get to play like Jolt, and then what's the fucking the Denki guy, right? His unique. That's like the coolest shit in the world, right? Flip,
that's true.
Flip for committal, targeted. Destroy it or discard it for targeted. That's the coolest shit in the
That guy's
entire world.
indiscriminate shock is actually kind of nuts.
Yeah,
This guy.
That guy's indiscriminate shock is crazy because you go
And,
like if you just block 3 on their turn, they committed 3, right? And then you go on your turn, and you're like, here's an indiscriminate shock. You gotta block this because it has at least 3 damage, and I'm sorry, at least 5 damage, right? Because you stunned 2 on that one.
Big, yeah.
And then you just like if you just draw 3 indiscriminate, like I think he kills somebody. But you got to draw 3 of them.
It's probably like very unrefined. Tried to play it one time, pretty much. I'm pretty sure it's actually not that bad.
Sure.
I don't know if it's B, but it's not that bad.
The biggest thing against him is his hand size, right? Like
If I had
Water
like,
and Order just
cards.
cannot support a 6-hander right now. I don't think, unless he just like gets lucky.
You gotta like
He's-
open passing the torches and a lot of calling for backups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Like,
rough.
Yeah.
My biggest problem.
Zero can do it because she cheats. She's a cheater, but you know.
Yeah.
My
He's
biggest
still
problem
the
with him is that I always want to respond with him, and he's a 627. Like that is a relevant amount of health that you lose over the course of the game.
Sure.
And like it's
Yeah.
like sometimes you actually like aren't supposed to respond like against the good symbol and stuff like that, and it feels bad. So like I think that this is it's definitely fun to talk about, but I do think he's like a C tier character. I would be surprised to see him make a top cut, and especially because there are better options, like maybe on the order symbol like Phil's talking about, but on Water I wouldn't consider him to lead it, right?
I'll be right.
I wouldn't be surprised to see someone side into him. That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay, Momo Yaoyorozu.
Boring.
Boring.
Lots of movement for nothing.
Dude, this is the easiest 009 character. You can get a lot of points that way. Can you top cut with 09? 009?
No, that's 3 wins, dude.
With diversity.
So I have seen like cool life builds. Like I do think that home run comment with 2 speed is like you can't really knock that.
Good enough.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Good enough. But
there's better places to do it. But she certainly like if she decides she doesn't want to die, boy howdy is she not dying. No. Whoo, is she not dying? The problem is that like everybody who wants to play that character is like they're like me and they're just like, man, Staff Strike's so cool. Boy, I want to play Staff Strike, and it's just not good, right? Like if you want to do that, you would play Jiro because of all the speed and damage you get to put on the end of chain things. But like I think that there's a world where you just play like life throws and value town people with this character, and you churn butter. Like you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna get you. But
I've got a local named Travis who has a Momo deck built under the good symbol, obviously before coordinated.
Yeah.
That literally just played the punch package, and was just like, all of my moves have +2 or -2 speed, and then I just get the build cards for free into my stage. I can go pick up a bonus foundation and like continue out these big long strings, yada yada yada, and then I just won't die. Like I've just got like really solid defense where these other good symboled punch characters don't have, besides Kirishima. And then obviously whenever they needed to play an unfair match, they just sideboarded into Kirishima and did the same thing.
There you go.
But there was something really neat about what what that guy's deck was doing.
Yeah,
I don't think it top cuts though.
I think she's cool. And like I said, she has like that energy where she's like go to time woman.
Yeah.
You know,
her defense is actually nuts because like her second ability says draw any zone block, often with breaker or if it's a foundation or you draw any zone block and it's a foundation or asset, so you get to block with it, and then really the next deck gets -4 speed.
Yeah,
because you get -2, you take your on progressive, and you get a ready foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just so. And then she also gets past the torch on 2 symbols, so she never runs out of cards. She never runs out of ability to pass blocks. And yeah, she's just a huge tank, but she can't kill anyone.
Yeah.
I think even the home run comet, like if there was like a card that said like draw momentum back, you know, like estimate draw momentum, surveyor, you could win with a 4 attack deck with just 0 gravity lift.
Right.
But there isn't.
Right.
So you have to figure out something else.
Yeah. Yeah, you do have to. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree 100% with that. I think
she's got D energy for me, man.
She's very
that's
cool.
where I'm at.
Yeah.
She's very, very cool though. And again, I think that as like if Mei Hatsume has some cool ass weapons, I'm all over this character.
She's fucking D for the size of her cup, dude.
Oh, that's a 15-year-old girl, Cyril. A drawn 15-year-old girl, but yeah, chill out. Anyway,
Midnight weekend D jokes.
Yeah.
She still
Momo.
has D-sized tits. It doesn't change anything. I didn't say anything about them being horny.
I know Phil is right.
Alright.
C for quick creation.
There you go. All right, so here's Mount Mama, who is of age, and I can talk about her figure, right?
Phil, go up, King. Phil, go up.
Here's Mount Lady.
Right, hold on, I have to see how old Mount Lady is, because it might not be the case. I'm just doing a little bit of a quick check here.
Here is Mount
Hold on.
Lady. Here's Mount Lady, and
We
she
are allowed
makes.
to talk about her. She is of age.
All right,
But my
so
hero came out in 2016.
So before the Kirishima ban, I think that this character was in a big place where it was like, why would you play her? Everything she does, she's on the same exact symbols with Kirishima, and you could just be doing that, right? But like I think that this character's like an actual consideration after Kirishima and coordinated effort ban, because she's not particularly upset about the coordinated effort being gone, because her package is not as reliant on like a big string, because she just slams damage on turn 3.
Yeah.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
and like even if you're not slamming damage, she's got free momentum for things. Like I think this character is pretty good, and I don't think people are gonna play her because we're like exploring the format. I think you give another month or so, and people will start playing her more often. But I personally would not be very surprised to see it in a top cut.
Is she like the weeklies promos?
No, she's
Oh, so
She's a
you also
plus
need to get
ultra.
fucking 4 of them?
you need to get 4 of them. Yeah.
No one's gonna play her.
She also does feel better in a format that doesn't have a character that picks up 2 blocks for her +8 damage moves, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I think
You go ahead, man.
I think Mount Lady is just underpowered. I think you have to keep in mind that like there's no gauge. You can't really stack characters from your hand. Even if you could, you know, paying 60 for an asset says your pump is +2 now. Like that's not very
Right.
good. And like she just commits to get a stack or get a momentum, and that momentum can turn into 4 or 6 damage if you stack a few times. Like
He's very
what's
slow.
your like critical turn for this deck? It's like turn 4, turn 5, and all you're doing is putting damage on things on turn 4 and turn 5
Yeah.
with your no defense character. I think she's just not good.
All right, that's fair. Hey, if you put it like that, personally, I love
don't
turn
think
4
she's
and 5 though. Love turn 4 and 5.
She's molasses, emphasis on the asses. You know what I'm saying?
She definitely gets to do that thing with that Kevin Broberg said earlier he doesn't like, where they get to play the weird bad like chip damage void attacks for 8 years and hope it works out.
Yes.
Yeah, if you believe that you can actually just block with just 6 hand size no abilities for 4 turns while like playing 1 cave swing, like
Hey,
Power
you've
to you, man.
got 4 0 mid blocks. Sorry, 3 0 mid blocks in your deck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, if we're putting Skinny All Might in C tier, I think she might be able to make it, but she's probably D tier, right?
Yeah. Overall, if moment of rest out of 10. Yeah.
I honestly,
give her a moment of rest. Give her fucking.
Give her one gun.
Throw.
Yeah.
Give her.
What's teleport throw? It's not teleport
if
throw.
you give Jose the opportunity to get
Shadow
4
throw, clone throw.
Shadow throw, thank you.
The thing is, if you give Jose the opportunity to get 4 Mount Ladies on 2, I still don't think she wins an event. But I do think that she gets to top 16 it, because I do think that you could like pop off against bottom bracket and make your way in at 6-3. I think you could just go weak in. So I say C. I say C, but that's fine if you guys disagree with me.
I would be surprised if she gets the top cut, and that's C, right?
Yeah.
I don't think she. I think you are making a mistake if you play Mount Lady. And I said that having played the Void
All right. So those two. What do you think, Jose? Tiebreaker.
You know, she's a fun for a gamer. C for Kamui
Love that. What a good answer.
He's just saying things at this point.
She is Kamui Woods' partner. They work together. They're like.
I'm glad he
starts with a K.
I'm glad he went for C.
Crime fighting, just like J-Ray.
I'm glad he went for C instead of being a double D gamer like these other boys over there.
Listen, it's not our fault that the ladies with the D's are in the D tier. Midnight was able to overcome her cup size and make it to C tier. It's not anybody else's fault.
All right, what about poor Ojiro over here, who's
B
tier?
I think this guy's a B tier character, actually.
Yeah.
I think this guy is so freaking good.
He's got the best,
genuinely
best smashes in the business.
So an interesting thing is that he has that really annoying combo with float combo, right? Mm-hmm. And I think he can like he's not winning an event. Because that deck is like, once you figure it out, you never lose to it. But like the first time I played it against it, there was no shot I was winning. Because at some point I was just like, yeah, I'll take 4. And then he went, here's a float combo, plus ultra, plus 6 speed. Also, you can't interact with it anymore. Enhance, switch the speed and damage. Use all the things on my board that give it speed, etc., etc. And it's like, here's 18. I hate 18, and I was like, is that how that works?
Yeah.
You know? And like that's not even the good Ojiro. Like Punch Planet Ojiro is a fucker's deck. It's a fucker's deck, dude.
It did lose coordinated, but it was only holding us back.
Listen, version 1 didn't even need coordinated effort. Now we get to go back to Plan A, which was the All Might 3 diff. Which is
punches.
For the purposes of Ojiro, is the same card, honestly, because it's just get a card out of my fucking card pool, right?
Get this out of here.
and like, so I would be surprised personally. I think it's a C tier deck. But he also has the fire list, which you get to like Recipro, right? You get to put your speed onto Recipro Burst, and then they don't get to tape plus ultra block it, right? That's pretty good. But the problem with the fire list is that like you're playing with 0 defense, and I think
you don't get apathetic.
Yeah, and like you're playing with basically a turn 3 or 4 win condition, right? Regardless of what you're doing. Like the Punch Planet list gets to like he's also slamming damage on things, and he's just like actually the deck isn't like that's the one, like, because the fire and the death lists are relying on the once per game. The earth list is not. The earth list is just like 3 damage, me like, you know, and then by the end of some point he's like, oh well, you have enough face down foundation, so this one's gonna kill you. Here's the speed catch.
I don't know, man. I've actually played like a lot. Like Fire Ojiro is the one that I play on stream all the time, and it's actually like top 6 decks for me to play and enjoy. Going Recipro Extend plus 3 damage. Oh, you block this one. Recipro Extend plus 5 damage. Hey, I guess I'll draw 2 cards on both of these. I don't care about my shitty face down foundations. I'm down to flip those just to like swing you out, right?
Sure.
Putting plus 3 damage on a turn to dust, like it feels so bad. This is for 8 damage, stun 2. If you block it, bad stuff happens. I touch you for my 1 momentum, and you have 4 face downs. Okay, my Recipro Burst is gonna kill you from 10. Like, I'm down. I think that this character has a lot of legs. He plays like Capture Evildoers incredibly well. He plays Evil Gaze really well under the fire symbol of like, man, you flipped a bad card you don't care about. Well, I'll just Evil Gaze and blow up the face up one. That's fine.
Right.
I think that there's a lot of defense that happens. I do think that if you can outlast him though, under the fire symbol, like he
well, that's the thing.
He can't get there.
That's the thing I was gonna say
Right.
is that all three of these builds, and I've like tried to figure out the fire list too, but like there's just actually zero defense, right? Like fire doesn't block particularly well. The earth list gets by on literally all of the attacks having a 1 mid block.
That's fair.
And then the death list has like some defense in the form of evil gaze, like backing up, right? But like
Fire gets that too, though. Is
right,
what I'm saying.
right, that's fair. But like I'm saying, that's some, right? It's some. It's not enough, right? So that's why I would put him in C, because like these are all like the offensive game plan across the board, pretty stellar. But like I think that defensively it's just not there, right? Like you're just
sounds C tier to me.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. My vote is C.
I would give him B because I think he could beat all the C2 characters. But that's
how I
only.
feel.
All right.
Yeah.
All
right,
like,
Jose.
Could be all
either
of
B
them.
or like the king
Could
of
lose
C
to them.
tier. You know?
I don't think
the
he's
character
the,
actually fucks loud.
I
Actually,
don't think he's
I
the
think-
king of C tier, and I
I
played him
saw
a lot.
Bromley play him one time and thought it was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Does
I
he
did-
beat Nomu?
I did just buy 4 copies of XR Smash today, so you know.
It's get your copies now, folks.
I mean, does he beat Nomu though?
Everybody beats Nomu.
Yeah,
dude.
he could beat Nomu for sure.
he says every move is 6 damage if he wants it to be.
Yeah.
Right. But all of his are 12.
Yeah, but
And-
he has 29 health, right? And also
Yeah.
a billion like 1 mid blocks. Sorry, this is the
Right.
one I like. This is the one I like, right?
Yeah, but like, how often is Nomu going mid? It's like twice.
It's like most of the important ones.
No, it's like relentless and jab, and jab's not even good anymore.
What
It's,
about
it's
Gale
all
Force
highs.
Punch?
It's all highs and lows.
That's
it's all
fair.
highs and lows.
I'll take 5 4
all-
times, dude. I'm down. Honestly, I'll take 5 4 times from Nomu as Ojiro. That's only 20
You know,
health.
The math is there.
Yeah,
Is
I'll
there.
take.
Anyway, king of C tier. Who's next?
All right, there we
We'll
go.
put him in C tier. It's fine with it.
All right. Anyway, yeah.
It's another character I have to read.
President Mike, can we skip him? I want to put him in D.
Midoriya
D.
tier.
Are we just put him in D? Is he that bad?
Yeah, D for
yeah.
Deku.
Sato.
Terrible.
Sato.
Kevin, what do you
the hell
think?
is Sato?
I actually think this character is okay.
He's okay. I'm down for
Like-
C tier for him. He's neat.
No.
You don't
plays
think
the
he's
order
C
case,
tier?
I think that he's better than C, actually. I think this guy can go long, +1 damage, plus X damage, stun 1, cycle draw twice is like relevant. I think cycle on
It's
defense
plus
is
1
relevant. It's
Like,
plus
plus 2
X because
sometimes.
like you can like reciprocal extend into stuff, right? Like
Yeah,
there's
it's
bonus
plus
draw
2
on things.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
My passive torch is also +1 damage. Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah.
It's like
I think
Oyama,
this
kind
guy
of, right?
I think this guy could totally get there.
Yeah, he's like Oyama, where a lot of his things that just happen also give stats now.
I should
Like-
put this guy on the sideboard of my Ida deck.
Yes.
Does he
His
have order?
Recipro Bursts start at 5 speed. Stun 2.
Stun
Yeah.
2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's
do.
pretty neat. That's.
Two of the stun,
Okay.
yeah.
I vote
All
C.
right.
I vote C, guys.
I'd be okay with C.
yeah,
I
I
think. I
think-
don't want him higher. I think what has happened here, unfortunately, though, is we got into the lull of all of the mediocre characters, and
Yeah.
I'm looking at this, and all of the good characters are at the back end of this.
There are a
We're
lot of
gonna
good ones
finish
here.
strong,
Our list
baby.
looks like shit
Sarah?
because like 5 of these people could be in B tier.
Yeah. Sero?
I could see a world where this guy is B tier.
Not this one.
So the thing is, splatting 7-handers is good in a format where there aren't like this 7-hander that doesn't die to him, this 7-hander that doesn't die to him, and this 7-hander that doesn't die to him. Sorry, I pointed to Asui and then Kamui and then Aizawa, and then also the 8-hander All Might 3 who doesn't die
I
to
think
him.
Aizawa dies to him. Funnily enough,
I don't think he does.
I think he's dead.
I don't think he does, man. Aizawa can race car him in like every version of that deck that I've seen. Like
Fair enough.
like Aizawa's not tanky at all, right? But like
Yeah.
like also he has like the tools to just like go for his throat. And on the important ones, like most of the time Sero gets by against 7-handers by having an extra card that you can't partially block, and Aizawa gets to respond on that one.
Right.
So, you know, so like he's down to just like tape swing and tape toss. And
So I can say, one of the times I played Jiro and got absolutely railed by everyone, I played into Sero twice.
yeah, I have
And
lost.
it felt really awful.
Yeah, I've tied into Sarah where I just didn't draw gas, right? Like if you don't draw gas into that character, it sucks. Personally, that's
Well, you
how
have
I
to
felt.
draw a lot of gas.
Yeah.
And then you have to. It's really challenging.
Yeah.
Because like if you go in on 2, he cuts one of your attacks out and you don't get there. Because it's hard to count to 30 through with your best card out of your hand.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't go in on 2, or if you don't get him to pull a trigger on 2, because he can see through your shitty thing you're setting up. Then on 3, it's really hard to finish him off, and on 4, it's really hard to finish him off. And the whole time he's just bullying you on offense.
Yeah.
You
If
are
don't block
always
at all-
taking damage.
But
If you don't block at all, you just die really fast. If you block a little bit.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
So I have played Jiro into the matchup, and the one time I did it, it was one time into my friend's, and he did the reveal my hand thing, and I revealed 2 specialists of sound, or specialized sound waves, and he was like, oh, okay, like that. The opposite has happened too, where like you just it didn't matter when he responded once per game.
Yeah, I mean if you're completely flooded with momentum and the best card in your deck,
Yeah.
you can still beat him. That is true.
Yeah. That's just my counterpoint is that like sometimes when he responds, he gets you right because you only had the one, and that's happened to me. But like also the opposite has happened where I was like, yeah, here you go, dude. How do you want to die?
I just feel like there's room at like the higher end tables for a character who literally cannot be blocked.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Go ahead, Phil.
I know like there's got to be some unexplored territory where this guy can just like keep going and kill you, right? Like you can put like I'm gonna keep jumping back this fucking order shit, but order's got a ton of card draw, man. Like, and if you just get a string, they might just fucking die. I mean, Kamui Woods isn't gonna die, right? Kamui Woods isn't gonna die to your big string. Okay, we get it. We fucking get
He might.
it.
The weird thing is that he might. Funnily enough.
But like
Sarah
you
can
can
zone over pretty well.
You can certainly like, you can play like a big string. You've got like fucking cowling you could play to draw more cards. You got like stuff you can like actually do stuff. And then again, if you do block him, you just are fucked because you're either you're not full blocking anything. No one in the world has enough low blocks to block this guy.
Sure.
Yeah, and like,
And if they
do you think Tape Swing is a good card? Because if this guy plays Tape Swing and he has a Think Fast in his stage, it's a 5 whatever zone for 11 that draws
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I think Tape Swing is a good card.
Usually mid.
Yeah.
And I would say I'm making it mid.
Yeah, I mean, Tape Swing is I think the best card in the format. And he plays it better than absolutely anybody else.
I literally do think this guy is B tier. I think people are just not playing him correctly.
Okay.
So,
like
Phil, I love that. I think IRL, I think he's B tier because you get to keep track of zones of things that people have built, things people have checked, things people have played.
True.
As
Hold
attacks.
on. Yeah, C
I
tier.
think on
I
webcam
can't
he's
write down
actually
notes.
C and D.
I can't
100%.
write notes in webcam events for fucking some stupid ass reason.
I could not imagine playing this guy and like actually having to big brain what my opponent built last turn to keep track of what's in their head, just because I can't see what's on their webcam super clearly.
I'm still gonna put him B. I like him as B. I don't care.
I don't
if you
know.
guys
I don't
agree.
think keeping track of their zones matters that much because you know you can just know the symbols in the game, right? Like you play into the earth symbol and you like go low. You play into the water symbol and you go high. You play into like
So there's that, but then see people like big brain you, right?
Right.
I actually played a game with Sarah yesterday on stream, and I had somebody build 4 low blocks. I'm not gonna call high, obviously. I'm gonna call low.
Yeah.
And then the exact opposite thing happened on the next turn, right? Somebody built 4 high blocks. I'm not gonna call low. Obviously, you kept the lows. I'll call high.
Yeah.
Right? And so like keeping track of what's been checked, what's in stage, what's in what attacks they probably have in their hand. Like I think this character has a lot of tracking in order to play it at the absolute highest echelon of what the character can produce. Right? I think when you put this guy into top cuts and I get to like spend my 2 minutes looking at your discard pile, see what you played last turn, see what's going to be in your hand of the 3 cards, and be like, oh, you probably have X, Y, or Z. I think that where this character really shines. But I just don't think we get to do that for the professional.
He does have also all of the best attacks are 5 cost energy, but I'm going to ignore that part for my point. I really do think he. Go ahead.
Super Extend is 4th mid that draws a card.
That's true. And it has 2 symbols with him.
Yeah. I literally do think this guy's a B tier character.
All right, I'm down with B. I'm down with B.
No one has to agree. You guys can all.
No, I'm down.
I'm totally
I'm down.
cool
No,
with it.
I think he does splat. Like if you just play into people with and you have hot hands and they draw cold the entire. Like I think that guy's unbeatable if you draw cold. But
Yeah. I agree.
but that yeah, and also
But
like
I think if you draw average, he's very good.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you're just having an okay day, he's also better than you just by warrant of having that once per game. And he's not.
And those
he has
those tape swings are fucked up.
Yeah, he has the best card and he plays it the best. Yeah, that's fine. I think the character is pretty boring, so I wouldn't touch it. But he's definitely good. He's definitely good.
I think C or B for Think Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shigaraki.
B?
Yeah.
Kirishima's gone, and he was the biggest restraint on that character. Like, Shigaraki was really cool, but there were two guys he just couldn't beat. And it was Eraserhead and Kirishima. And this guy was everywhere, and this guy was, kind of everywhere. Now his only, really terrible matchup is Eraserhead, and, there are ways around it, I think. That I think you're allowed to play Shigaraki now. I want to put him in B.
I mean, his bad matchups are Eraserhead and Walkling, right?
Yeah.
Which if we look at the A symbols, like the 2 7 hands as character he wants to melt, just like Walklings all day.
Yeah.
On air and then Kamui.
So
And then Jiro has Walkling.
Funnily enough,
Zero has
Walkling-
So
Walkling.
if you go
Eraserhead
first-
doesn't care about.
if you go first the entire day, regardless of what symbol he's on, I think he's one of the best decks in the format.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was about to say his bad matchups are player 2.
Yeah, going second with that character is so wildly different than going
second
first.
Sucks.
Yeah, going second with that character is so different than going first with the character. Going first with the character, I feel like God. I feel like I'm actually the chosen one, and I was chosen to destroy this earth.
Yeah, I will say, Tim, Walkling isn't really that much of a big deal for Shigaraki.
Yeah.
Depending on the symbol he's on. If it's under death, wah, I can't do anything, wah. If it's under fire, you have access to.
Well, under death he has apathetic, so.
Yeah, he has apathetic. Yeah, you have that. You have irrefutable for consistent.
Yeah, death is not bad, man.
Yeah, death is not bad. Evil Gaze just blows up Walkling, and you just go, "Are you Walkling this? Evil Gaze, block it." There are ways around it. I don't think Walkling is enough of a feels bad to.
Well, so you got to play through everything, right? Like every character has to play through Walkling. That is true for sure. My thing with him is, and I'm sorry, Tim. Let me just finish real quick.
Go ahead.
Is that I would not be surprised to see him top 16 or top 8, but I don't think he gets past that because there's super because he's got no natural damage or speed pump apart from Evil Gaze. He has to play kind of weird mind gamey shit. And there's a lot of other characters who don't have to do a gimmick to be able to go over your health total. And in this, you can't guarantee that you're going to go first in the top cut. You can't guarantee you're going to go first the entire day at all either. But I think he caps out at top 8 is my feeling on it.
Unless he goes 8-0 and gets to go first.
If you Swiss champ, you got it, baby.
Yeah, you got it.
Easy, go first.
I think
every time.
the thing is that even then, I think that you're you might.
You're a bad draw as a 6-hand size character away.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love the character. I think the character is actually really, really cool. Kevin Broberg played it in standard against me, and I was like, "Damn, this character's sick." I played it in my hero on death and on fire.
You in those games?
No, it was very long. You got me actually. Yeah, I was playing Janet, but yeah, you did get me with it. But I think
we were both in deadlock.
Yes, we slammed deadlock. Yeah, it was just you didn't make something a throw, and it was the biggest brain thing that I'd ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
I think that was actually a Kirishima game. Actually, that wasn't the anyway. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, but I think that the biggest problem he has is when a game goes long and somebody just decides they don't want to die, he has problems getting over that. Whereas if he's able to pressure early, I can't guarantee in top 16 and in top 8 that he will be able to pressure enough. Yeah, that's it.
I think that's totally fair, except for every Shigaraki we're gonna see is just gonna be playing float combo, and if you can 4 float combo somebody, you just murder them, right? Especially because like 6 high is like really hard to deal with on turn 2, turn 3. And if you can deal with the 6 high on turn 3, then you can't deal with the follow up.
That card is so fast for no reason.
That card is so fast. And it's just like, it's 6 high for 9 in him. And if you could just like land those, like he's the one character that I would actually think I'd be super down playing 4 float combo, 4 plus ultra, and just, or go beyond, excuse me, and just be like, well, I'm gonna discard this momentum and pick up, oh man, look, it was a float combo. I guess I'll pick this one up and I'll play it. Neato. Okay, cool. Hey, take another 6, dummy. Oh man, another momentum. Hey, another go beyond. I hope, what's in my momentum? What can I pick up?
I mean,
and so like,
I
think if you can deal with the float combo, right, with your Todoroki enhance or response, with your Eraserhead turning off the character, with your wall clings, with whatever, I think that you can deal with the character, right? But like, I don't know what Ochako 1 does against the character without it. I don't know what Ochako 2 does against the character. I don't know what Tokoyami does against this character, unless you can shut off that kind of interaction.
Well, you know what Ochako 2 does is she beats him to death with his own shoes.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Because like, that's the thing too. It's like the other side of this character, like he reminds me of Nomu, where if you just block everything, he has no defense.
He's got Nomu energy for me too.
And he has this kind of marginal defensive ability. He's a little better because he has 6 hand size. He can play some actions with a straighter face, whatever. But like you play Ochako, you have 33 life. He has to touch you twice, and then count to 23 with everything else in his deck. If he's playing all these stupid 4 damage float combos, he needs 3 turns to kill you, and you can just you have a lot of time to play the game and finish him off.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I actually
like,
don't.
For me, sorry, I just want to just real quick.
No, do your thing.
I don't have much experience on it. To me, he's like all these people who have like this huge Nomu boner should just be playing Shigaraki instead.
100%.
That's how I feel about it personally. Everybody in chat that's like, man, Nomu matchup, Nomu. Just play Shigaraki. You're doing the same thing but better, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you might have to block. Wow, learn how to block, you fucking weirdos.
So like, Shigaraki in general has going first problems. I think the death build especially has going first problems, right? Like
that's surprising to me.
I've been working on the fire list for a long time, and like we go back and forth between doing kicks, doing fury stuff, and like what I've landed on is just use super fast base stated stuff, like the Nitro Explosion, and like Evil Gaze it and put Bakugo's 1-diff speed onto it, and you're just like answer it, and then like back it up with capabilities on the back end. Like your follow up is like actually a 15 damage attack, because that's the only way I could figure it out. Like I tried the kicks. I think that Reciprocal Extend is super nice, especially with like you just get draw out of it and stuff like that. But I think that the base stats are the way to go. Unfortunately, he's on the Fury package, which is just like the easiest thing to just DR out of existence, and he doesn't have a ton of damage to begin with. But Fire helps with that because you get Heroic Lineage, right? Like at any point if somebody like flips over their Bonds of Friendship or they creepy your attack down to 0, you can be like, Evil Gaze, respond Heroic Lineage, you have to block this now, like actually deal with this. So that's
Bonds of Friendship is so tiltingly overpowered against Fury moves. So sad.
Yeah, when you're playing a Fury lineup, it is a pretty big tilter. But
poor Bromley almost killed fucking Tamren yesterday.
Oh, dude, he built 2-on-1 both games, and I was like, man. Second game, I had the most salty double Evil Gaze of all time. I was like, how do you like your 2 fucking Bonds of Friendship now, Tamren Cobble?
I'm playing Midoriya, dude. Calm down.
I was so upset, man.
Friendship now, bitch.
Yeah, where's your friendship now, bitch? Yeah.
I'm so sorry I'm playing my D-tier character against you. So white about it.
No, it was literally because you built 2 of them there, and I was like, man, that sucks. But what was I gonna say? The death list that plays the float combo, right? Like just like if it goes first, like I remember I played Ryan Field in that 1K, and if he went first, I literally said it to him. I was like, if you went first, if you won the die roll, I lost 100%. Like even as Todoroki, and I had tons of answers for it. But like the first game, he was just like, yeah, I built my Bakugo 1-diff, and I built the cut 1, the nervous habit cut 1 for 1 speed thing. And it's just like, I value towed you on 2. What do you want from me? Yeah. So yeah, like that's why I say the death list specifically feels like going first. But like if you go first against it, I feel like you can just build for 2 turns and stabilize. And then like Kevin said, most decks like what most decks, if they just partial one attack, he takes 3 turns to kill you, right? It's like the math that I feel it's at is because a lot of times when he touches you, he's like done for the turn. And sometimes this is makes, but that's what ends up happening. So like you take, let's say you partial a 4 damage, you take 7. The next time you take another 7, and then he has to hit you one more time. So it takes a couple turns.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's B tier. That's what I'm gonna vote for. Any final votes, guys?
I
Jose?
got him in C.
Jose, what do you think?
You know, like just like gauging everything. Well, I missed. Why is Bucket going D? What is the reason for that? I missed
sucks.
that because he's just bad.
Nobody likes playing 1 checks and having fun in Yahtzee people, I guess.
I think he's D tier because it's just you have to draw the juice with that character, and he actually does not play defense.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Shigaraki is B because he can bully a 7-hander very easily. Sometimes even if he goes second, just by the nature of like what Evil Gaze does against people that just attack you for no reason. Like Shigaraki against people that just monkey out is insane. Like, you know,
True.
When it comes to you attack me on 2, now you lose. It's like Kirishima, old, and Shigaraki, right? Like Kirishima, Shigaraki will punish you very hard if you feel like you're forced to attack him. And I think that's good enough, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. There's a lot of, Hardened Jab is probably on the downswing now, but, Reciprocal Extend walking into, like, Evil Gaze plus block plus Shigaraki response is pretty savage.
Yeah, especially with under 5 with the Breaker 2 mid blocks. Like,
Yeah.
I think B is fine for him.
Tam?
I'm not gonna fight you guys on it. Makes sense to me.
I want to push him to A, but if the group consensus is B, I guess I can accept it.
Well, it's not, because I said C, you goofball.
We are across the board.
If you say A, we actually just average out.
Yeah,
right?
we just still in B.
We average out to B.
Yeah.
Shoji.
Yeah, that guy's got to be
Character's
like
so cool.
the coolest C tier character. Actually, he's probably the coolest D tier character.
Damn.
Yes, he's the coolest D tier character.
He gets to play
Anger
like
for
5 health.
attacks?
Pay 5 health to go pick up Amphibious Ambush so that you can play your meteor shower loops is so cool. It's so rad. Man, I missed it by 1 piece. You're like, oh, I found it. Hey, look at that.
He's super
He also
cool.
gets to play.
maybe do
He
5.
also is the second best Stronger in Darkness.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He takes Tokiyami's package and he gets to actually play it, right?
I don't know. I think third best because Midnight is the stronger Darkness character.
That's true. She is also Stronger in Darkness.
But she doesn't. She's not playing Summon Dark Shadow though, right? Like
He can't
fucking
either.
might.
Well,
yeah, he
he
does.
can't pick it up.
It doesn't matter about picking it up. You just
You're
play
just
it.
gonna raw dog him.
Yeah, I just raw
You can
dog
pick
2
up
of
the
them.
move that puts one in your card pool.
That's true. You
That
can also
move
do that.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Funny enough, though, it has like 8 keywords. Might end
Yeah.
up in the midnight list.
I do think that if Shoji, instead of having it such a steep like life cost, was like after you play 2 cards with the same control check, pick an attack.
Right.
Oh yeah,
He
I
could've been
actually
so
think
much
that if he,
better.
I think that I agree with that one.
Wow.
But otherwise, he's like he gets
I
to
think
do
it's-
really cool things. He
You
gets
know,
to unbreak.
his symbol spread could use a little bit of work. Also, I think instead of,
Should have good, right?
I think he should have good. Yeah, I think he needs
Yeah.
good instead of what the fuck shit
But
symbol
so-
like life.
The
Yeah.
world we live in, though, on Life and Evil, you know what attack is really good to have a lot of copies of is Tongue Whip.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you also-
my thought process for this guy was tongue whip for sure.
Yeah, you can also tutor up, kind of like me now, you can tutor up Creepy Realization.
He could also pick up Stronger in Darkness for free.
Yeah, I think he might actually be number 1 in Stronger in Darkness because of that.
Yeah, picking it up for free
Yeah.
is.
Hey,
I
it's a buildable.
Tokiyami's still got to be number 1, right? He's gotta be.
Yeah, that's true. If you just guarantee you draw 3 Stronger in Darkness and Tokiyami on one, I think you win an entire
Yeah,
event.
I think if you go first and you can always draw 3 Stronger in Darkness, I think you got it on lock.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. I do.
Unless you play against Fropies.
I think he's better than D tier. I think that somebody could pilot some weird, wacky game plan to get it to because he's tutor the character, right?
Sure.
Yeah, like, Shoji never Shoji, if he bricks completely on attacks and he you made him block down to 0 cards in his hand, he might miss on damage. But other than that, he never is short on damage. Like he can kill anyone from anywhere.
Right.
UFS.
UFS anywhere, anytime.
I mean, I think he's. Listen, I don't think anybody will ever play this fucking guy. I love him. I think he's so cool.
But I think you could.
I think you could also.
But I don't think
this
you will.
This guy gives me like B to C energy, but
Yeah.
no one's gonna play him, so it's probably like
Yeah,
C to
like
D energy.
I've seen plenty of shojis who were just playing the All Might Punch package, and instead of doing anything instead of maximizing on his form, they were just like, I'm gonna get the 0 diff every turn, which is cool, but it doesn't really do anything. So,
I mean,
Under the
think-
all symbol?
must be, right?
Yeah.
it must be.
Yuck.
yeah,
Yeah.
On Evil, you can play Punch Planet, but also you have to find other punches.
Yeah, you must find different Punch Planet. All right, Todoroki.
Bromley.
So
Bromley?
So now that Kirishima's not like the most oppressive deck in the format, and I'm not forced to play a throw deck in order to like get over his ability to block, I think this character is solidly in C because you could certainly pilot it to a win. The package is still very, very good, but the problem is that he has never, not once, in a single time that I've ever played this character, turn 2ing anybody.
Sure.
It's just never gonna happen.
It's just the nature of those cards, right?
Yeah, he needs to scale over the course of the game, which means he needs to survive, right? And like being able to cancel and enhance every one of your opponent's turn is pretty good at doing that, right? And his package, the water package in general, is also there, but there are just better options now. Like even in the last provisional, I still started as Kamui, even though like you know I knew there were going to be 30 plus Kirishimas. I still started as Kamui because Kamui had like kind of like neutral matchup into Kirishima, even though I think that Todoroki had a good matchup into Kirishima. I took the neutral matchup because he had a better matchup into the rest of the format, and I would still do that.
Sure.
And at this point, I don't think that Todoroki is even a consideration for siding out of Kamui because you have to play a bigger deck size.
I would say, are you saying you could play less cards now?
I will play less. If I'm
you're
playing,
now allowed
yeah,
to play less cards.
yeah, I would not play a 66 card Kamui deck unless I was siding into Todoroki. Yeah. So, but like that is the only reason that the deck was that big was because Todoroki was like what we needed to sideboard into with tape swings and all that jazz. So like I would love. I think that you could even win an event with the character. But I would be surprised to see somebody like actually pick it up and play it because it's just like, oh, why would I? You know, like if we're talking about like raw value of the character, I think that he's got the right tools. He could definitely top 16, top 8. So like actual value B, but there's better options. So I say C. Like it's a weird contextualized vote for me. Is all I'm saying.
At the end of the day, he is really slow, and that is a legitimate detriment to him.
Yeah, I think
it will depend on the matchups you get, right? If you're into a matchup where you're like, I need to race card this man, you just can't.
Right.
Like, you're just not allowed to.
Game 2.
Yeah.
If you draw all attacks as Todoroki, you don't get to go, sick, I'm gonna try to kill you. You just go, shit, I lost.
Yeah.
Wow, look at all these cool blocks I have.
And one of the other things is that like I'm like the only guy who's put like significant time that I know of into the character, and I'm not considering playing him into this provisional. So like, if I'm not playing it, why would anybody else? You know?
B then, baby, slap him down there. No one play him.
Yeah.
You said
yeah.
B as in boy?
B.
Yeah.
He is in dog shit.
Yeah. That's it's weird because I know I'm the guy that played it, right? But like it's I do think he has the tools. I do think he's good enough to do it. I think that it's just I would rather play something else. So yeah.
I want to hear everyone else's opinions, but I say C for Celsius.
I would say, given your experiences with them, that if you think that it is still a viable option to win, I would say B. I know there are better options, but that doesn't mean that this option is off the table, is what you're saying. Because you're saying he could win, but I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. No, yeah, you could, but like I feel like anybody in the C tier, if they like if you had the best one of these C tier characters, you could bowl over some of these other ones. Like there are better options for pretty much every character that is not in the A tier is the thing too, right? So for these reasons,
I think I'm pretty confident. I think I am pretty confident. Obviously not having played it, but just on the package alone, that he's a 7 hand size character.
Yeah.
I would be confident putting him as just a water character that is 7 hand size in B tier.
Okay.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
I think him in B tier is totally fine, and I think doing the opposite of what you did, of like I love Todoroki, and I think the response is good enough to get me there, and just do the opposite and put Kamui in the sides in case you just like get rolled over on turn 2 in game 1, right? Like it's totally fine. But I think the control matchup is so good, and Todoroki is inevitable, and
Does
that
he
is
beat
something
Dojiro?
that. What?
Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I think that Todoroki is so inevitable. I think the only way that you like he isn't inevitable is if you cycle. And if you cycle, you probably just had really bad luck in the game, or your opponent was having great luck, right? Like, I think if your game plan works out, you just don't cycle with the character.
Yeah, if you just die, you don't cycle. That's a good.
Yeah, I've had
Also a great point.
most of the time when I killed somebody with Todoroki, it was when I had like 5 or 6 cards left in the deck. And it was
Right.
with me keeping in mind my discard pile the entire game, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, my overwhelming thought with Todoroki is just that it feels like, if your opponent is playing, if you're playing a matchup where, there's one enhance that matters, he's fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so many matchups, I think these days, don't look like that at all. It's like, what's the best enhance my opponent's like? Oh, it's the enhance on Hardened Chop. It's the enhance on Pass Control. It's Stun 2. And if my whole character for the first 3 or 4 turns of the game is trading for Stun 2, that is a terrible character. That is very far below the rate of what a character should be doing. Like how many stuns is Froppy worth, right? Even just on defense, like I can untap her by flipping all my foundations. That's worth way more than Stun 2.
Right.
That's like 3 or 4 foundations of the defense. And so I think he's, I think I think he shines in those longer games, not just because he gets to, get this big damage from, but also because he cancels deadlock enhances. And in those long games, it actually gets to the point where only one enhance matters. He cancels a wall cling once per turn, so your throw gets through for damage. And I think that's where he shines. But if he's just gonna be a blank 7 hand size character, I don't think that's good enough to be B tier.
Yeah, I'm with Kevin here. A lot of the reason why he was good into like the packages was because you could gunk up the consistency of like the Kirishima or the coordinated effort decks. Like you could cancel Hardened Jab, you could cancel a draw, right? Like stuff like that was like good for their engine running, right? When I played in the Shigaraki and I had to cancel the stun 2 on turn at us, I felt like the actual ape. Like it felt so bad. Because I still stunned one and I didn't get to cancel anything else, right? And same into like Jiro or something like that, because like it's just flash attacks. You're like, I get to cancel the home run comet, but usually she has 2 of them, and like same thing, like I played it into Sero, like I played Barry Everson Sero, and it's like I canceled a think fast enhance, and it's like cool, Sero, I still changed the zone. I'll enhance 1/1 anyway. Like I shaved off 2 damage off a thing. So like there's there's extreme value in it when you're like thinking about like, oh, I canceled staff strike combo. Oh, I canceled reciprocal burst, right? But like by and large, most decks are killing you like by numbers, right? Or like it takes a little bit, right?
Spread out over a lot of incremental snowballing.
Yeah. And Todoroki is not actually that great at like ending a turn, right? Like Water has the tools to do it, and that's why we're playing him, because we had sticky balls plus a breaker 2 block, and you're like that's one of the few forms of actual disruption. Like, please stop playing the turn, let me get another turn, and that's why we're playing him above Water. But there are characters like Asue and Kamui who have like meaningful pressure early that doesn't let your opponent like one of the things that I had as like the Todoroki player was that people didn't know what I was doing, so they didn't just disrespect me offhand. And that happened eventually, right? Where I played it in a weekly, and I played into like an All Might player who was just like, "You're not killing me. I'm gonna build actually to 12 by turn 2." And like
Fair.
That's how I would play into Todoroki. Is the first 3 turns are mine. I don't need to attack you early because I'm not gonna walk into your sticky balls plus breaker 2 block. You can just play like you're playing into like what's her name, the Heidi, right? Like stuff like that, where he's never killing you on 2. It isn't happening, right? He could actually draw 3 tongue whips on 2, and I still think he doesn't kill you. And like unlike Kamui, who could definitely kill you with that string. Anyway,
if you're not using any enhances, then he's not milling, which means his game plan takes even longer.
Correct. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So I'm down with B. Like I said,
C or B, whatever.
I'm down with B or C, but I do think that he's like probably the bottom of B, and he's not great.
I would never put him at A. The only justification I had for B was you saying that you still think he could win.
I think he could, but he would have to.
I don't see any of these other C tier characters.
He would have to pair into the other Water decks, because he does have the capacity to slam those decks.
I can imagine him getting places if we somehow turn into a deadlock metagame.
Yeah.
Where
Also,
everyone's getting that deep into the game every time.
Yeah. Okay, I'm slamming him in B. I'm good with that. Tokiyami.
I think he's B. I think he's the second best aggro character in the format.
You think Asui is the best one? Yeah.
She's a little fucked. She doesn't have progressive difficulty. He kinda can have progressive difficulty. He's also reliant on drawing. You either need to draw Crow and Frogs or Shadow Ruin. Crow and Frog made him way better, obviously. Like I actually think the deck's nuts. I know people aren't having the same luck I am with it, but I think he's super good. I wouldn't put him in A tier super good, but I think he is super good.
He's definitely good with the sauce.
He also gets absolutely fucked by Creepy Realization.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Conway Wood surprisingly good against that guy.
Yep, absolutely gets fucked by Creepy Realization.
Yeah.
He gets to put a lot of damage on a lot of moves, and I sure appreciates that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I appreciate about you.
the biggest thing that I have when I like Jose's played the character a lot, you played the character a lot, and I've like talked to a lot of people who have played it, I played against it a lot, and like everybody says the same thing, which is like if you see Dark Shadow Ruin, that card is so key for his like state of being that it's like and like I have this weird thing with the deck because like you want to be 50 cards for Dark Shadow Ruin, but you cycle like what, you cycle 5 every time you use your enhance, right?
Yeah.
So a 10th of your deck is gone every time you use your enhance, and that's like
fine.
Not count, but like, dude, every time I played into that deck, like personally since like Jose and you played it, I've just been like, we can just mill this guy if I look at their deck size and I see that it's like a 50 card deck. And if they play above 50, then their consistency goes down for like finding Dark Shadow Ruins. And so like that's the only problem I have with it, is that it's a very predictable win condition where you like have highs and then the mid block, your plus ultra block for the final gigantic speed ally attack that counts all the things in pool, or like a Creepy Realization, right? So, like, I don't think he's A tier. I think he's B tier. I think he can kill anything in the format on 2. Yeah. And that's like you said, like that makes him the one of the best aggro characters in the game. But he has to draw 4 hot ones. One of them needs to be Dark Shadow Ruin. And he has to draw 2 of that action. And
kind of you disagree with that point though.
No,
he can actually kill people with Crow and Frogs now.
The biggest thing for me is I've seen Tokiyami's draw Dark Shadow Ruin, get their actions, and they play Dark Shadow and check a 3, and their turn is over on 2, right? Like a lot of their turns have ended when they check that single 3 on the first one. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like think he's gonna win an event specifically, because like the if you just check poorly on the few ones that are crucial and do matter, it ruins you. It Dark Shadow ruins you.
Yeah, it sure does, yeah.
My comment on that is you should never be leading with Ruin.
Fair enough.
Because if your Ruin's always going to get +3 to the check, and it doesn't matter until you play that Ruin anyway.
Sure, then you open with
it doesn't matter until you play
any
it.
4 diff or something like that.
So I open with 4 diff, you open with Crow and Frog, you open with
yeah.
pretty much anything but Ruin.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
I've also probably played the most Tokiyami games that I can know, of people I know. I play the fuck out of that guy every time I get the chance. I love that character so much. It's so much fun to have 5-minute games.
I will say,
but also there's no way I'm beating Bromley playing Cowboy Woods.
Yeah, I will say that a lot of people think that play Tokiyami is like a ride or die kind of thing, where he tries to kill you or he fails, and if you are able to slow down, he can block pretty good. Like, he blocks mid really well and a lot, right? So unless your opponent is doing like some very high damage off zone things, or like just like really high damage throws, he can actually live to turn 4 pretty easily.
You can block anything you want with that.
Yeah, anything you want, which gives him time to buy the like. I really enjoy playing a defensive Tokiyami, and it's not the best way to do it because he's better at aggroing out. But oftentimes, I think that he's successful at waiting for the right opening, and I think that's something.
And it's like, well, how much do you have to give up in your deck building to have that line of play available to you, right? The defensive Tokiyami.
Not right? A lot, like not a lot, because like you have draw and lineage is speed hate and
Yeah,
Dark Shadow is
you're
just-
getting defense. You're getting defense off the cards you're already playing because you're playing self assured.
Yeah.
You're already playing it.
I for sure had played like Staff Strike Jiro into it and had every single one of my attacks blocked against it because it went hella mid, you know.
Yeah.
And
that guy's got a million +1 mid block.
Yeah, he sure does. And it doesn't matter that it's 9 speed because he just, you know, Jose was like, I built 14.
Choice.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I think this is the long about ways of saying that this guy is top of
super
B.
B.
Yeah, like very big.
B for
BM.
bird.
Yeah, B for bird.
B for bird. I like B for bird.
Hagakure.
I don't know. She's Flash Lady.
Flash Lady. Yeah.
Flash Lady.
Alright,
I
she's
have no clue.
If anybody
She's like
can
a-
find this
like
one,
like C adjacent, right? Oh, you want me to find its effects?
yeah. If anybody can, no. I mean, if anybody can find the character card,
Oh, it doesn't exist, right?
Oh yeah.
yeah, because it's one of the
Yeah.
provisional
Well,
promos.
I get 12 draws sometime.
Yeah, that's true. True. You probably find it. It's a character. Characters have a high percentage from the plus ultra pack. Like,
Yeah.
you know. I think that high C's for anybody who played standard was like such a pervasive part of the format for so long, and she's got high C's on her face plus, like, without destroying a foundation, removing a foundation, and also with 2 speed, and it doesn't check a 4, and you don't have to build it. That's pretty good.
It's your whole character though.
That's true. Well, but she also gets to like slam something down someone's throat with 2 speed as well on the opposite end of the table. Like, you're right. If my character, like, a lot of characters have been high C's and not been that
She's like
great.
the worst Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeffrey did it. Flashman did it. But I think that like her response, the bottom one, like,
D-build.
D-build is like
Face
that's
someone.
something that like people in this format are not prepared for, I think. Like,
D-build and hand clog, right?
yeah, like I for sure piloted a Fey deck that was just trying to slam 4 foundations into your hand on 2 and go first, and like I beat Kevin Broberg because he had a deck list error, but like I still got the top cut from playing the deck, right? Like, because people weren't prepared for putting 4 foundations in your hand. Like, there's something really messed up. Like, I think it's even worse than destruction because
And they do go to your hand.
they go to your
You can't get
hand.
them out.
Yeah, now you're like stuck with some foundations in hand too. And like maybe they get blocks, you know, sure. Like, but Moonset was so rude because now I got one less card. I have to review this other card now too in order to go find attacks.
Now,
Now-
we live in a format where a 5/5 flash throw is 5/6 flash throw is pretty good, you know, and she gets to send that, and she has a little bit of the Todoroki energy. Todoroki cancels on enhance. You just don't get enhanced on this attack. You just don't.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, you get nothing.
The water symbol struggles so much to kill this woman because you're putting so much like money into this one attack that's gonna be huge, and she is like -2 speed flash block it.
Yeah, I think that there's some like. What does she have? Air, water, and
Chaos water.
chaos.
Yeah.
So on air, all of Bakugo stuff is so fast printed, like already, right? I could and I have done zero research on this character. I'm just going on my pure feelings, right?
We're like theory crafting this from the seat of our hips. I think she's a C tier character.
Yeah, there you
because
go.
I don't think there's a clear
Yeah,
path
I
to
think
victory
that's
for her.
Yeah, there. I'll go with that. I'm down.
Let's go with C tier.
I would be surprised to see her top, but I'm not like surprised. Like I'd be like, oh, somebody put the time in. Cool, you know. There you go.
Yeah, you
That's
put in the
how I feel.
hours like
Yeah.
that Dwayne the Rock Johnson song.
I'm down.
I would be surprised to see her.
Me too, because I get it.
Nice
Yo,
one,
also
Jose.
somebody put in, but Howitzer Impact could be pretty good in her because you get them with the first one, pop a foundation.
Oh, that's
That's cheaper.
brutal.
Hey.
That's
That's
brutal.
pretty good.
That's
pretty
pretty
good.
brutal. Yeah, that's like that. I like that.
I want
Oh,
to
it's a
vote
Fury.
for B just for like the same midnight energy of I think there's somebody who this is their favorite character that they've ever seen and they're gonna put in the work and be like, hell yeah, top 8.
They have never
I could see
seen
that.
her, Tam.
Oh,
She's
maybe they read the
invisible.
manga.
Maybe
Maybe
they
they
read
read
the
the
manga.
I'm with it because I realized you can play instant explosive release. So you just like open. So imagine you open with Nitro Explosion Ignition, make it a flash, 7 high for 4. If you don't sell out your whole life to block my 7 speed high for 4 flash. Now Nitro Explosion is online. I get 2 momentum every time I play one.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna Howitzer impact you somewhere in here. It's gonna be
It's
tasty.
good. That's okay. I can see that being pretty cool. Why is she way better than Bakugo at doing his thing?
Who
Bob
knows?
Dylan
People
kind of
just
lows,
work
dude.
Fucking Bakugan, dude. Fucking
Yeah, but
idiot.
Bakugan's kind of sus.
Fucking idiot Bakugan.
He's not goated with the sauce.
I'm down with
Alright.
C. No, non-specific. She's not the bottom,
Yeah.
or we don't know.
Yeah, I think C is pretty good for her.
Uchako 2.
Ochako 2 has got C tier for me.
I agree.
Fair enough.
I like
Smith
Gale
out of
Force.
10.
Gale Force Punch is a hell of a fucker's card in that character.
Yeah, and specialized sound waves is also like kind of annoying in
Yeah.
that character. Like she's not actually a 5-hander on the air symbol. If
Yeah.
she asterisk if she draws like the weird shit. Like
Yeah.
Death also just like randomly kills people because of the Gale Force combo, right? Like if you can guarantee that you went first, you built 4, and you drew Gale Force Punch, I'm here for it every time. But otherwise,
She's in contention for A tier for me.
really, huh?
Yeah,
Ooh,
she's nuts.
Let's
Yeah, she's peanuts.
So
Like,
I go ahead.
yeah, I mean,
well, it's like look at her results. Like she's got a bunch of like she's putting piles of 3-0s up on the weeklies.
Okay.
She top 16 to the provisional,
uh-huh.
and she's got 2 builds. Like she's good.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. Okay, and an event filled with
She's not your deck, Rob.
yeah,
I'll give you that.
yeah,
She's not your
yeah,
deck.
yeah. With an event filled with me's, it never wins a game, right? But because
I don't think that's true.
no, I'm serious,
You're a god
man.
gamer.
Because I
gaming.
specifically build my decks to not die to
Everything
that
hurts.
deck, right? Like that's all I'm saying. Like I've never like
So handsome.
like I don't know. You know that's actually.
Have you
I'll
ever-
walk it back.
have
I'll
you
walk
ever
it back.
Played against 1.3 million volts.
Yeah.
Has it ever in your life hit you?
Yes. Yeah. Of course it has.
Well, if Ocho touches you with 1.3 million volts, you personally
Yeah.
never survive. It
Yeah.
always kills you every
That's
time.
true. That's true. Okay. I'll accept that. Yeah.
Hey,
You're right. You're right.
I'll give it a.
You are dead and still
Yeah.
handsome, but
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
I'll give it a. Oh man, they're playing a Eraserhead out of 10.
Yeah.
That's how I
Hey,
feel.
well, she can switch to Jiro if she's on air.
yeah.
She can switch to Ochako on any sim. On well,
Yeah.
Okay, so
not
she
that.
is among those characters that can just Detroit become an A tier very easily because of the way that their deck is built.
Yeah, she could
Yeah.
also become Nomu off of Death.
So
No.
so a lot of my like
Yeah.
poo pooing on the character is based on me like going into her turn with like she's a real 5-hander, and I just held one of each zone, right, and then a tape, right, like an extra mid block and a tape, and then usually I'm like. I'm the greatest human. I'm never dying to this, or like
True.
And I played way more into the death build,
Facts.
where you just get to hold the plus ultra and never die, than I have against the air build. I think I played against the air build once, and I did lose to it. So I gotta back my staying because I did lose to it. It was mostly because we went like super late and I didn't draw any attacks, but I did lose to it. Like
A loss is a loss.
a loss is
Like
a
a
loss,
loser.
so I have lost to it. And
Unsubscribing.
yeah, unsubscribe right now. Whoever gave us those 10 subs earlier,
that
take
was
them
head of
back.
house, dude.
Yeah, take them back.
Imagine losing couldn't be me.
Or head
Yeah.
of whatever.
Never
Head
happened.
of
Kevin
hustle.
Broberg never once. Yeah, yeah.
Hello,
So-
baby.
To bring it back, I think she's got big Shigaraki energy, but as opposed to a disruptive ability on the Destroy Foundation, it's defensive, right? Of commit, I'm gonna fucking block the shit out of this one, right? Yo, this one not killing me. And I think that is just good enough. Where if you can't deal with one of Shigaraki's things, he's gonna burn you for the 5 to get the bonus attack. Or if you can't deal with her thing, she just gets to pick it up and replay it again. And if you couldn't deal with the +2 speed on this thing once, you can't deal with the plus. You definitely can't
Yeah,
deal with the
the
+2
second
speed
time.
on it again.
Sure.
Right. And so like it's a the rich get richer, but at the same time like you have to push back really hard on her, and then one attack she just says no, and she's got like second most health in the format,
They
right?
got a fat
33.
ass.
Huge ass with a
Dumpy.
commit -3. Great, fantastic on defense as a 5-hander. Very
Sure.
very cool.
Yeah, she
You
blocks
can definitely
one.
eat a few attacks. Yeah.
She blocks one and eats 2, right? Or she eats 2, blocks the important one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say how funny Electric Jolt is in this character?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You block
Always deals.
on 1. You're gonna take 4. Well, do it again.
yeah.
But if I
No,
think,
like
if I,
yeah.
or maybe I something worse, I don't have to do that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
great thing about Jolt is that it just lets you hot swap it for a higher difficulty
Yeah,
attack.
it's the perfect lead in
yeah,
attack.
it's like you are like Tim Keith 2's daughter or something. You know?
Yeah, it's a really good lead in.
Yeah. I'm still voting for C,
I could see B, and I'm kind of okay with B, honestly.
but I see where you guys are coming from. It's just like I know with like if I played the character, I would go 06.
I played against Mitchell playing that character, and it was not good. But it was Mitchell,
Yeah.
You know.
And what a dummy! He put like 66 cards, 70 cards in the deck.
No, we
Absolute
never played your
trash.
list, buddy. Absolutely not. There was no chance we were playing your list.
B for bruh.
Man, remember when I said this was gonna take an hour? I'm so stupid,
No.
guys. All right, so
Tier lists never take an hour, but I will give credit to everybody in chat and also us for keeping it pretty paced. And everybody's been kind of watching and chatting and enjoying. It seems like because there's still 40 people here. So
Bromley, you remember
Damn.
the first tier list? That thing took like 4 hours.
yeah. Well, we did 3 different tier lists, like
I
morons.
also like. I think I would also put Mrs. Achako one here also in the same solid B tier. That's where I think.
So
she
I don't know if
belongs.
you've played into Tamren Cardwell's Ochako list. That thing is kind of terrifying. And
I've
don't.
never played a single game of My Hero Academia.
Yeah, I see you, Tamren Cardwell. Just deflate your ego a little bit, okay? That thing is kind of terrifying to play into.
No shot.
It's
No shot. I'm doing that.
No shot. Dude, it goes 0-2 and then opens packs. No shot.
so 2 open specs. Yeah.
Yep.
Well. So it sideboards into Jiro remarkably well. Which was pretty cool. But also it's just like the tools it has. It has like charged up is so nuts for that character because it lets her tutor up anything, like actually anything.
You need a foundation.
You know?
Fuck it.
Yeah. And
That's delightful. I should play this character.
yeah, dude, Broberg, you would love that character because of the the galaxy brain potential with it. You know, like Tamren's a caveman and he does some really wicked cool shit with it. Okay.
Yeah, Tamren's decks have not been below 80 cards all format.
No, so Tim Keefe has been complaining how he doesn't want to play in these webcam events because he doesn't have a deck he likes. Because all the decks he needs to invent his own deck. He's sort of a hipster to play anything.
I know Tim Keefe, dude. I know Tim Keefe.
I need to net deck Tim Keefe and make his own deck uncool.
There you go.
Whoa.
There you go.
Whoa.
There you go.
Well, he's
dude.
playing a different symbol for sure.
Yeah, he's playing off Chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's because he's a filthy Kotal Khan apologist.
Are you pushing for A? Is that what I'm hearing, Bromley?
I think that she is either A tier or bottom of B.
Wait, A? She's either A or at
Sorry,
the bottom
bottom
of
of A, bottom of A, top of B. Sorry, bottom of
Yeah,
A, top
yeah,
of B. Right.
Yeah,
Because
to me, she's right there with Jiro. You know, they're both big scale we. You know?
I also think that Jiro is A tier, but like you guys disagree with me. So that's I do think that she is A tier. I think that she is big spooky, and there are very, very talented players who just do like weird shit that you don't get to do normally with characters. Like she gets to do the like standard UFS type thing where she like makes a gigantic attack that has like insane speed and insane damage on it, whereas most of the rest of the format is like playing strings of attacks that are between 6 and 10 damage, right? And like there's like most of the format isn't prepared for that. I think she has problems with bricking, and I think that her defense is kind of sus because she has no way to really like interact meaningfully with her opponent's offense, right? So she has to play kind of aggressively. Like even Jiro can be like, "Oh, I just revealed 2-3 checks on your deck," in webcam, right? And in regular, play, she gets to actually like mind game the opponent.
And actually not fucking let them know.
Yeah, not let them know. But like Ochako is like, I think like, she's kind of fragile defensively. But that's the only thing that I think that's wrong with her. I mean, and even then Air has good defensive like foundations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that this character is as live and die on the 2 check as Froppy is on her 2 kill conditions, Tokuyami is on his 1 kill condition, Shigaraki is on his kill condition.
Yeah.
I think if Ochako does not find specialized sound waves under at least the air symbol, under the build that I have, right?
Yeah.
I think that she can't do anything on offense, and she certainly can't do anything on defense. The defense for this character is, I hit you, I play my 3 diff, it obviously checks, I replace it, it goes to my momentum, on your turn, I pick up a 1 mid block that draws me a bonus card. And that is good enough on defense to keep you alive, to then find a second one, have stolen a second momentum, your jolts always go quickly, and then just like throw a 9 damage home run comet.
Yeah.
And that's That's just good enough to get the job done. But you have to find the 3 diff so that you can go tutor your Comet or tutor your long-lasting explosion to make that Comet 9 diff or 9 speed. I think that this character has to play a really honest game, but being a 7 hand size character that always gets to like every turn find jolt, right? Every single turn of the game I have a jolt, right? Whether it be on offense or on defense.
I wish you wouldn't, honestly. I really wish you wouldn't.
Yeah, and so like that is the power of the character is Jolt can keep us alive just long enough to go and find our sound waves, and then with the sound waves plus 1, maybe 2 momentum, we pop off and we win the game from pretty much whatever game state. And that's just the deck, right? Unless you have some big crazy curveball to stop me.
She is very consistent most of the time, but you could just be denied your cool card and be like, but my cool card.
She has this crazy marriage where she plays 8 copies of a spam foundation that readies itself with the amphibious, because she makes the thing leave the card pool, and then she gets to play the Denki 0 diff that also readies something. It's even better than ready itself because it readies anything, right? Because she gets a free momentum pretty much whenever she wants to. It has the same like points of interaction as Jiro, right? And that's just like the air symbol. If you're like playing a momentum hungry deck, like especially one that's like sometimes is like I want this specific momentum, you can be like capturing evildoers, right? Is capturing evildoers targeted? I can't remember.
Yeah,
it very much is.
It's targeted, and that's pretty brutal for her. So like,
but they have to remember what my face down momentum is, right?
Yep.
And that's not normally a thing that happens. If you're playing like a meteor shower deck with Ochako and it's just like sitting face up and it's like, yo, pick me. Yeah, this capture absolutely wrecks it.
I don't personally like meteor shower, but yeah, I hear you.
I like it.
Card.
Yeah.
You gotta fight Eraserhead and Nomu with it.
Yeah, I like it in Kamui, and that's basically it. I think Ochako just gets access to so many other cool cards that it just becomes a sideboard option for her.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I definitely like the Ochako deck more than I like Jiro, for what it's worth.
I
saw Tim play it, and I was like, that's pretty nuts.
I vote B.
Yeah,
big
B.
Ochako.
A tier? A tier?
I'm kind of okay with A
scoreboard.
Also, actually.
A tier.
Scoreboard.
A tier.
I actually think she does what people are doing with Jiro, but I think she does it in a better way.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'm not gonna sit here arguing. It's been 3 hours.
Unless we're in person.
Yeah. Like I said, Jiro in person, Jiro online. Jiro in person.
That becomes better
Jiro
in
online.
webcam.
Everyone else against Jiro.
Everybody becomes better in webcam depending on how good you are at cheating.
True.
Don't quote that, but it is true technically.
Quote it, clip it. What else?
I don't play in webcam, so you're not gonna catch me cheating, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh, just clip. You're not gonna catch me cheating. That's all you need to clip out.
My hands, they're on screen, right? You can see these.
Yeah, you can see that, dude. That's why I had the 2 webcams. We had the one down here.
Listen,
and the
I'm
one
not
down
trying
here,
to
so I
start a
can do
witch hunt, but this never do this 100.
Well, we did it. We got a tier list. Someone screen cap this.
I actually think it's a good tier list too. Honestly.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah, I think this is. Are there any like I think we should go through right now, just eyeball it and see if you think that anything should change last minute.
I feel like you guys all have the Sero at B question mark, but I think that guy actually does belong there.
Actually, legitimate question. Why is Ida 2 above Ida 1, but only
Ida 2? Okay, so fucking Broberg hit us with like, he was like, this character does all of this stuff that's actually good, and Ida 2 or Ida 1 doesn't do anything good, so who gives a shit?
Okay. I'm down.
Bottom of the ow.
I kind of agree. I just think that Ida 1 is more playable than Asui 2.
Well, I mean, he's best deck in format, baby. Somebody clip that.
BTI.
Yeah, it's just eat at the top like Jeb Bush with the guacamole.
So
right?
The tiers are not they're not in any particular order, Jose. I think the only thing we had in a particular order at one point we were memeing and had like Frappy at the very bottom or something.
I'm down for this. I just think that Ida 1 has one cool play, which is like his response on a burst. But aside from that,
I still think Mount Lady should be in double D tier, but more for the memes, and also I think she sucks.
I'm very sad that no one plays All Might 1. Go ahead, Tim.
I think if you guys love me at all, you will put Midori in C tier, at least to give me like a little bit of energy to
Nah.
get top 16. Just
Nah.
just enough. Just
Nah,
give me
I don't want to.
just
Okay,
a
but
smidget.
Tam, I don't lie to my friends.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. That's fair.
Wait, how did we get Mount Lady in C tier? She was terrible.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
It's because
either,
I'm
guys.
in control, fuckers.
Yeah. I wanted her
like-
right next to Momo so they could be both double D tier, dude.
See, if I could have a Mount Lady character card who was animated and she was doing the wink, then that would be like
Yeah,
easy.
it's a
Yeah,
DDIF.
Yeah, we need to get the picture of Kamui and Mount Lady in the car driving.
Yeah.
yeah. Give me
I
the.
lied to you. I won't tell you about what, but you lied to me. I
Yeah,
lied
it's
to
rough,
somebody. I lied.
Not your friend. Not your friend.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. Apparently we're not friends. I don't know what I
No.
lied to you about. Yeah, I mean, I think this is probably like what I would consider a pretty definitive like format. I like where everybody is in this.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
think-
surprised by All Might 3, which is a little sad because we all knew he was gonna be mega good, right?
Perhaps like maybe Invisible Girl becomes B tier at some point, but that's like a story for later on in life. Same with
Yeah, a
Mina.
bunch of,
Maybe
a
they
bunch of
find some
especially
cool shit to do,
Provisional
but
promos and Plus Ultra promos who are just kind of underexplored. Yeah.
Yeah.
anything that's a promo that's not present, Mike, I think we can all agree on might have room to move.
might have legs.
Yeah.
I still think that All Might 3 is not that great, but that's fine. I'm gonna lose to it 3 times in the next provisional, and then we can all meme about it.
Pretty fucking good, I think.
I don't know.
I just like I liked Tam selling it as like you don't have to play an aggro game plan and you can just sit as an
Sure.
830.
Sure.
I mean,
just,
yes, you will have 2 cards committed, but you're building a bunch and you're not trying to fuck them.
I just had the benefit of playing like a water deck into it. Like,
Sure.
like
True.
yeah.
True.
Yeah, and I think like any deck can be exploited by something somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's not a death sentence, I think.
Yeah, I'm not stopping playing fucking Tokiyami because you sit around and play Kamui Woods all the time, you cheeser dog, but I'm not happy about it. I did make a fucking Tokiyami deck and I called it Birdie Eilish, and I thought it was the funniest thing because it's evil
It is a
Tokiyami.
very good name. I like it a lot.
He's the bad guy.
He's the bad guy.
Dude, in my head it was so sick. I was like, man, you get to play the tongue whip card, and you can use Amphibious to get momentum for cool student. I
Yeah,
was like, this
the
is
really
sickest
sad thing
deck.
is that Phil. I am very excited to play Evil Tokoyami in set 2 for the exact opposite reason that Phil wants to. I just want to DR with challenging the fakes to call my opponent a bitch. That's all I want to do.
What?
I
There's a-
challenge
yeah.
the fakes.
There's a new stink card they reveal called Challenging the Fakes, and it's like -1 damage. If you don't block it, their next trick it's -2. It's a
Oh
taunt.
shit!
Yeah.
You're
It's
gonna
a
love
taunt!
It's
It's
got
a taunt.
taunt. Yeah.
Dude, he's
Say
saying that
less.
shit.
Say less.
Bird is very fun. I like Bird. Even if I'm not good at aggro, I think he's very fun.
I need 10k points so I can make Bromley play my Splash Woman deck. It's only 10k. Oh, you gotta change it, Bromley. We're too popular now. You gotta change it. You gotta change it. 10k
I'll
points
just
is not
play
a
it.
lot.
I'll play it on Thursday. Sounds good, dude.
Broberg, how come no one has ever played Pay on Thrust in like something that did something?
Pay on thrust.
Fucked
Fuck.
up.
It's your-
I don't know,
think
dude. I
That
can't
card
tell
is
you.
nuts. That card has the text of Tape Swing.
Why didn't you play it in Cutman?
Why didn't I play it in Cutman? I had
Yeah,
like. Why didn't I play it in Cutman? Reverberate. Too good.
Reverberate is a good card.
Reverberate.
Huh? Reverberate too good. I don't know. You just couldn't fit it in, you know?
That sounds like pussy shit.
If I was playing Talon Package, I definitely play Pay on Thrust. For sure.
I just play with Claymore.
Bro,
Yo, is Jose also a brand risk? He's not,
I have
right?
Nah, Jose's not a brand risk. He's too good of a good boy.
That's true.
Tim likes me.
I have this weird relationship with exploiting Flameroar because it's so good, right? Like, in a vacuum, it's like the Takeda thing where it's like, you can't beat Takeda
Yeah.
in a vacuum, right? But then you just, like, play into Royal Bodyguard and Precise Blow, and then you're like, huh. Or, like, anything that flashes it, or like, it's just like, man.
That's why you gotta play it with Pay on Thrust, because when it's a 2 difficulty, 8 damage attack, even if I flash it, you're pretty happy. That's 8 damage you got for free.
Yeah, that's
Bromley,
fair.
what's the one video where it's just like 30 minutes of complaining about Flame Roar? You remember that?
I don't remember.
No,
that.
it's like a whole 30-minute video where it's just complaining that Flame Roar ruined combos forever because you had all these cool things you could do.
Yeah,
and it's just play Flame Roar for 12 damage.
Yeah. I played Takeda and I had this wonderful game and I was like, man, there's so many things I could do with this turn. I had so many combos. It was like a stacked discard pile, and I was like, on the second attack, it's an SRK. I guess I should Flame Roar. And I play the next one, and I'm like, what should I guess it's Flame Roar. Like, actually, it was a whole turn of, man, look at all... Oh, I guess I'll just play Flame Roar.
It was demoralizing, dude. It
Yeah.
was the realization that choice is an illusion.
Well, now it's gone the complete opposite direction, right? Because now I'm so afraid of Precise Blow, I'm so afraid of Royal Bodyguard that I just spend... Now my Takeda deck does nothing. It actually does nothing. It's just like, I'm going to only combo off of Foundations on the off chance somebody might be playing Precise Blow, right?
Snake Wing Soap.
Yeah. So there's two ways you can approach it. One is just just don't play against that matchup. And the second one is just like the way I did, where I'm just like, I'll just assume everybody has it, and I'll try to beat you otherwise. And it's not the right way to do it, right? It's just stupid, like Tim Keefe was, you were talking about Tim Keefe being the guy who wants to be the special snowflake. I totally have that problem too, I wasn't playing Kirishima at that provisional, it's the same sort of thing where I'm just like, well, I just don't want to be the guy who got because I was trying to play Flame Roar. So instead I'm going to play Black Serpent and Glow Kick and confronting Jettas and stuff, or crit split. Hit me.
Can I introduce you to Hellfire Impalement?
All right, hit me with it.
So you play Hellfire Impalement.
Yeah.
And you have so much bullshit happening.
Yeah.
Even if they precise blow you, you just have more bullshit behind it. If
Sure,
they just take the Hellfire Impalement, you just be like, okay, I drew 2 cards, I filled my discard pile. I'll just block and yin-yang you on your turn.
But Kevin, what if when you Hellfire, you don't hit any 2-checks because your deck is 90 cards?
Well, it's impressive that you missed your 25 2-checks in your
It was very impressive. It was impressive, but I saw it.
Kevin, did I ever tell you about the Hellfire Impalement Janet deck that I played? That I was gonna... You remember the Sacramento PTC that never happened?
Vaguely.
Yeah, this is right when the pandemic hit, right?
Yeah,
Everyone was gonna get
a
yeah. So I was gonna play this Janet deck. They played Hellfire, pre-errata Hellfire, and average turn I played 14 attacks.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was and the thing was, we were playing into Cassandra. And average turn, she blocked 14 times because I was playing. It was what's the one check action?
The Sea Viper action.
Covert.
So I played Covert and I played 4x of the Taki asset because my end of all the attacks were 4 or 5 damage, but by the end of my turn, it had plus 36 damage on whatever the last attack was.
And it sounds absolutely delicious.
Broberg, there came a point in the middle of his turn where his hand was bigger than his deck.
Yeah, it was absurd. And we had the backup of I just didn't play defense. We just played 4 Princess Parry, what are they gonna do about that? We don't need defense. The defense is just on defense, what we get to do is look at the top card of a deck, and if it's not a 1-check, we are very happy.
My favorite thing about what you just described is that sounds way crazier than my Jiffany Chamber deck.
Dude, it was insane.
I was I'm drawing so many cards right now. I am fucking having so much fun. And you were like, yeah, I drew 80.
Yeah, actually,
80 cards.
I oftentimes on my attacking turn on 3, because you had to build for 2 turns to really get there, right? Because you were gonna check badly at some point. But turn 3, it was Hellfire Impalement. Let's say Let's Party, Sadistic Ways, right? Shove 2 momentum, respond Covert, draw 3, right? Coffee Samba, let's draw 2 more, multiple 2, Sadistic Ways, Covert, then what do we have left? Is it another Hellfire Impalement? Is it another Coffee Samba? And by that time, it was just you had such a huge hand, and if you didn't kill them off of it, you had so many Princess Parries in hand that they were never killing you.
All you standard gamers are welcome. After I won, they never printed another recheck that had no cost.
Yeah,
and they errated the one that was there.
Yeah,
and banned the other.
Bill, are you the reason why Prout knows custom momentum? Is it you?
Yep.
It's pretty hype, bro. Nice.
and you've never seen another recheck again.
Recheck is too powerful.
And they put one in Crimson Rampage. It says your opponent rechecks on their block.
Oh,
yeah.
True. Yeah, they
if
must
your opponent
recheck.
checks good, fuck you.
Yeah, if they check a 5, they have to. Is it
5 or higher?
5 or higher?
Printed 5 or better.
Yeah, they must check again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I read it initially, and it was they had to do it until they checked the 3, and that was sick.
Yeah.
That's not how that
That'd be
reads.
hard.
That would be hard, but that's not how that works. That would be worth a 2 check. It's not that. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Actually, they should just make it that. So, like, the
isn't
card
that
doesn't rule it
the,
out.
Kevin, isn't that the E Honda attack, which is you mill until you hit 4 attacks?
Well, but that's
No,
not.
you-
It's not on the block though. It's like when they block it. Right?
You mill when you hit until you hit 4 foundations, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not control checks.
Yeah, it's actually just mill, right? Like it's
just
that's how
mill.
no. We want them to feel bad about their check. That's the thing,
Right.
right? I want them.
You have to flip your card and look at it and be like, oh, that's a 5.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a 5.
Yeah, keep going, keep
Oh,
going.
that's fine.
Yeah, keep going.
And they
you piece of shit.
And then they find the 3, and you just turn your character sideways. Why are you running zeros in your deck, dummy?
Bro, what are you mad?
Yeah, that's the dream, man. That's the dream. That is the dream. Whew. All right. Well,
Boys, I feel like we've told everybody in chat
yeah.
how
Sorry.
to win the provisional.
Yeah. Yeah. Just play Nomu.
Yeah.
Also, we don't have to apologize for how long this ran because Tam literally has 10-hour streams
Well,
all the time.
Well, no, I apologize not to Chat or Tamren or Jose or Phil, but poor Kevin Broberg, who I told this would take 2 hours, you know?
That's true.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Kevin. But I do appreciate you guys coming on here because I thought it was important to talk to you guys specifically because both of you randomly had a tier list that was not what I wanted to be a tier list, you know? Last week.
Also, you've both won pretty big My Hero events.
True, yeah, it's
scoreboard.
true. Yeah. These guys are on the board.
Some of us didn't even get our decks banned.
True.
Must be nice.
Must be nice, dude.
For now.
I luck sacked my way through all of top 16, so it's a lot of
Hey.
protagonist energy is how we got there.
In the words of a great man, we take those.
We
take
certainly
those.
did.
Yeah.
We certainly did.
You absolutely take those.
Hell yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Kevin, who did not get deck checked in his Kirishima. You know, he never got that game
I
lost.
did.
He never got that game lost.
I passed.
He passed the deck check. So I actually had 2 deck checks during that event, by the way. I had one where in between games 1 and 2, my power went out. And the judge came in and was like, well, that's a game loss. And I was like, what if we were between games? And he went, just don't leave afterwards. We got to check your deck to make sure like you didn't put anything in it. And then after for the top cut.
Amazing.
So that's the only time I've ever been deck checked twice in an event.
I've been deck checked before, right, Phil?
No.
Is that true?
Yeah, we were playing at an Omaha.
Oh yeah,
PTC.
I've been deck
Yeah.
checked before on stream and then fucking disqualified.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait,
gotta
what
love
happened?
Those, gotta love those
We
little
were-
deck checking rules.
yeah. We were randomly joshing around, and I was like, "What are you gonna deck check me, Phil?" And he goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." And then like he stops like round 4 of the tournament. It's, Judge, deck check, and I fucking had a deck list error.
No.
Yeah, it was. I was coming from work. Like I played the entire event in my martial arts uniform because the tournament was like 40 minutes out of town, and so like I just drove straight and went from work to the event and like a buster. I just didn't write my list beforehand, so I'm
It's
like
fine, dude.
scribbling as fast
I
as
got
can.
fucked, dude. Don't worry.
You certainly
Dude,
did. It was.
You know what? He
very
called your
lame.
bluff. He called your bluff.
I certainly went undefeated until that deck was there and beat
Yep,
everybody in top cuts before.
absolutely beat the brakes off us. It was atrocious.
I had almost a deck error in Nats. I think it was 2018 when I was playing Fae, and I like in round 5 I just randomly went through my deck to like make sure I had things, and I had 5 Hunt for Spiders in my deck.
It's pretty good.
And I was like, that doesn't make sense. And I had played a Liu Kang player the round before who had the same sleeves as me, and so somehow one of his hunts got into my deck, and so like I almost had a problem. So I had to go find him and like be like, "Hey man, are you missing a hunt?" He's like,
It's a good thing you checked.
Yeah.
I was just like sorting my deck for some reason. Like I was just going through it. No, you know what it was? It was Ben Shoemaker asked to look at my deck.
Yo, the homie
Yeah.
coming in
And
from the future.
Yeah.
And he found 5 hunts.
Yeah,
He was
like bet-
the prophet. Dude.
No, I was sorting it for him and I found 5 hunts. Yeah. He was like he was
for sorting your deck before you give it to people because some people just like walk up to me and hand me like their draft deck and it's like
no. Yeah.
fuck man.
Yeah, no, I was talking to him about it because that was the you know the freaking Caltrips sand grenade deck, and he was like, "That sounds." He was Ben Shoemaker about it. He was like, "That sounds sweet. Can I see it?" You know, so that
The impressions get worse and worse every
time.
and I
Yeah,
love it.
you should have seen him this last weekend. I was hanging out with him in North Carolina, and every other word out of his mouth was backjack. He'd go backjack, backjack. Every other word out of his mouth. He's like, Chris Bromley, I'm gonna make you say backjack to a third party at some point. And I was like, no, it won't happen, Ben. It won't happen. It won't
What's the
happen.
context?
There is no context. He's just Ben
Okay.
Shoemaker. Yeah, I think
Hey,
what
good
happened is the weekend before he hung out with his brother and he picked up the phrase from his brother while he hung out with his brother. So
I think that the thing is that he is a very impressionable boy and likes to say one particular phrase.
Yeah, for the whole
the
weekend.
entirety of a weekend.
I got really drunk.
I always pick up on it.
Yeah. So I got really drunk playing blackjack with him, and the phrase for that was when I won, I would shout 2 more games because I was betting minimums. So I'm like 2 more games every time, and so he was yelling it too. He brought back spin the wheel.
Oh my god.
He brought back spin the wheel for a bit there.
I love this.
It was pretty funny.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
This is a
Linguistics
poetic.
is so interesting.
It sounds like a poetic weekend. A really just great. Really aces.
It was pretty wunderbar. Anyway, that's our show, folks.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks for hanging out.
We're back to shooting the shit, which is at the top of our agenda.
Yep, the very top of it. Thanks for joining us. Today we had Kevin Brandris Broberg, Chris Brandris Bromley, Phil Brandris Birch, Jose Narono. Jose Narono.
Yeah.
And we had our boy, the one true gamer, the only UFS influencer, Tamren Cardwell. God bless. You know that Tamren Cardwell almost didn't show up today? He was like, I gotta take care of work, man. And I was like, okay, you gotta take care of work. And he's like, you know what? On second thought, I'm coming. And I was like, no, dude, you should probably take care of work. He's like, no, I want to hang out. I want to do it. I
I do want to hang out.
I want to do it. And I was like, are you sure, man? You don't have to do it. He's like, nah, I'm in. And then he sent me a smiley face. And when Tamren Cardwell sends you a smiley face, you know he's down.
You automatically respond with the Bugs Money no emote.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's the only appropriate response.
Oh, the lean in no? No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Poor
Dude,
Tam
dude,
can't do it right because
don't-
he's sick now.
Do not worry, dude. Do not worry. With these last 2 streams, you're well on the way to having this show be UFF's influencer territory. We're getting 40 views, baby.
Hell yeah.
That's true. We've had big ones. Thanks for everybody who hung out in chat. I mean, I guess it helps when you have the only 2 people who have won anything in this format
Yeah, you
on
got
your
gamers.
stream. But last week we had 2 guys who no one's ever heard of in My Hero. I'm just gonna bring my favorite people on. That's the play. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out, boys. People in chat, remember to join the Discord. And don't forget to play in the cool Unfun Stuff $500 event, which has a cool side event. Highlander, no symbol chaining. There's the information's in the Discord. Just go join it or whatever.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be
great.
And
I'm assuming we're not doing tabletop championships.
I think no
things,
championships
but
today.
I'm not gonna stick around for that.
I'm good.
Boo.
I will. If Tam wants to test his Midoriya deck, I'm down to play him. But
I'll fight the boys tomorrow. It's fine.
there you go. Yeah, remember, if you want to join the tabletop simulator thing, it's just streamed on Tuesdays. You can challenge any day of the week. That's part of the rules.
Yeah.
The guy who has the belt has to answer within 24 hours. So we're just not going to stream it tonight because it has been almost 4 hours. Yeah.
My bedtime was half an hour ago, boys. So
Oh,
I'm gonna
I gotta
call it
make-
night.
Good
I
night,
gotta
brother.
make coffee.
Have a good night, guys.
Take
Good
care,
night, Steve.
everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you for joining the stream.
Good night.